On this episode of In the Weeds, we talk about mass consumerism throughout American history and how it may lead into our evolution of neurodivergency. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In the Weeds with the Porch Posse. I'm Austin. I'm sitting here with...
Hi, Mom. How's everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm Mike, by the way.
It's humid.
It is very humid.
More
right
humid tonight than it
Yeah.
has been.
Yeah, it just rained pretty good through here.
I'm John. I just got bit in the back of the knee.
Oof.
It's going to be a great night.
Oh, yeah.
I'm already going to love it.
Flies are already buzzing around my water and the wine glass. I ain't got wine in the glass yet.
Dang. They know.
They already know.
They know. They're like, man, these guys are out here every night drinking wine.
They prepping.
Yeah. They know what's going to be in that glass.
I use my phone as like a,
Oh, cover.
fly
Yeah.
keeper outer
It's pretty good.
and no seam keeper outer.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Smart moves.
Yeah.
So...
I have to say, I'm pretty excited for tonight.
Yeah, I kind of am a little bit too.
Tonight, for everybody listening, tonight's our first group topic. So we all researched the same topic. And the topic, I'm going to let Austin introduce. And kind of...
Your title was better than mine, I'll be honest.
Oh, well, it was a conspiracy for corporations to turn billions into addicts, shift Americans into manic consumers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
And supposedly this is a conspiracy. After we flesh this all out, we'll see how conspiratorial it is at the end.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah. So, me specifically, I went down the route of the true rise of it. Like, all right, what the hell did we do to really make this an idea and make the American government take action on
Yeah.
it, right?
Like, where did it start at?
Yeah, where did it start at? And I feel like everyone here on the porch kind of knows that time frame, but for the people that don't, bro,
He did
thought you
not-
said you forgot about that button.
He remembered it at some point in time.
Yeah, for the,
It's all right. So
We're just giving Jonathan a hard time because his phone wasn't on silent.
It's all right. It probably won't get picked up.
yeah.
But
So
anyways.
for the listeners that don't know, kind of the rough time frame that started in America is right after World War II. So 45.
Okay.
Automatically, right? So American soldiers are coming back from the war. They coming back with all this bank, and they get here and they go, "Wow, this is America. This is completely different from when I left 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the hell?" So, wartime production helped the U.S. pull itself out of the Depression, like
Right.
110%.
Oh, yeah.
The
We
war.
out there-
Yep.
Yeah, we out there working. The ladies in the fucking factories working too. Like
Rosie
the-
Rivet.
Yeah, Rosie Rivet. Yeah, my
Mhm.
mom was actually telling me about that while I was
Or
doing
Rosie
the topic.
Riveter. I'd have to
I
Google
think
it.
it's along the lines of
Yeah.
Rosie Rivet or Rosie Riveter.
She's
Yeah, the
the-
swole
she's the-
lady.
Yep.
With the handkerchief,
Yeah, with
holding
the
her hair up.
handkerchief.
Yep.
Yeah. Very famous picture or piece of art.
I feel like her and Uncle Sam are ubiquitous for the time period.
Yeah.
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 without a doubt.
So wartime production pulls us out of the Depression, and going into the late 40s, the young bucks that were coming back from being overseas and whatnot, they were like, "Yo, America's changed, and I got money to spend."
Yeah.
So, for people that weren't in the military, this shit was awesome when it first jumped.
Mhm.
Like, jobs were plentiful.
Mhm.
Like, there was unemployment, but at a very low extent.
Yeah.
Wages were high as shit for the time.
Okay.
Bro, you kidding me? Getting paid $4.75 to buff some motherfucker's shoe?
Dude.
$4.75 at that time was a lot. Because let
That
me
is
tell
a
you,
lot.
when I started working in the workforce as a young person, minimum wage was $4.15. That's what I started out making.
Oh, wow.
So $4.75 in the 40s to minimum wage in North Carolina was $4.15 in like 1992 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So-
that tells you how much money that was in the 40s.
That's a lot of
That's a
money.
lot of money
That's
for
a
the
lot
time.
of money.
Yeah. So, Americans are, realizing like, yo, we can just like start buying shit. We got all this money,
Yeah.
Life is different here. Okay. So, during in the late 40s, rolling into the 50s, obviously, what else is happening during this? The start of the baby boom, ladies and
Right.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, I feel like everyone kind of knows the numbers, but I'll jump on it for a second.
Yeah.
At the end, in 1964, 76.4 million babies were born.
I didn't realize it
Jesus.
was that many.
Seven.
I mean, I know, that's why they're called
Jesus.
boomers.
Yes, I'll give you an even thicker timeline. Mid 45 into 1946, 3.4 million babies were born.
Dang.
In 1947, 3.8 million babies were born.
Dang, dude.
And from 49 to 64, it averaged to 4 mil to 4.2 million babies per year.
I have to say, Austin, you were sandbagging a little bit when I was bragging about I had some statistics that
I
Cruz
said I
is
had
going
a
to love.
little bit. I had a little bit, okay?
Cruz loves statistics. He loves the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna roll back to those numbers here in a little bit. Okay. So have y'all heard the term or the phrase more, newer, and better?
I mean, probably.
Makes sense. I think I've heard that somewhere.
Okay. Mom, have you heard that? More, newer, and better?
No.
Okay. So, more, newer, and better is the phrase that Elizabeth Cohen used to explain consumerism in her article, Consumer's Republic,
Yeah.
the politics of mass consumption in post-war America.
Okay.
And she did this article. I went and read this completely, like 5-6 pages. And she did this shit in 2004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
All
this got some years on it.
Yeah.
Right? So in her article, she pretty much elaborates that if you were a American consumer during the late 40s, going into the early 50s, when I tell you, you were praised because you were being a patriot. You were doing a patriot act
By buying shit,
by buying shit.
Yeah, because
you were saving America.
you're
Yeah,
boosting
and-
the economy.
You were supporting America's economy.
We were building, making, and buying American in that era.
Right.
Uh,
yeah.
Her excerpt, it says, because they were contributing to the ultimate success of America's new way of life, American consumers were praised as a true patriotic citizen in the early 1950s.
Okay.
So you went and bought a refrigerator? By goddamn, son, you're a fucking American.
Good on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to pause on that real quick because let me tell you, I saw a commercial for like a 1950s refrigerator.
Yeah.
Mofo is nicer than most of the fridges
yeah.
we got today.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I saw a video recently where this guy has an old 1950s like Frigidaire or GM
like
or General
restricts
Electric
it or something.
refrigerator. But it's like one of those ones where like it makes so much ice that he has to go through like once a month and clean it out
yeah.
and stuff. And it's like the same Freon that was in it when it first, and like that thing will last forever. And it also, what really impressed me with it is that all his shelves in the fridge, they're Lazy Susan shelves. So
They
you
had-
can
Oh, the
spin them around. And he's got
spins.
like 6 shelves. They're all
What?
Lazy
They had
Susans.
that, and they had like drawers that came out like with the lid on top.
Yeah.
They had all this cool stuff that like we have some really cool fridges. Like your fridge will tell you you're low on butter. And
That's
Yeah,
pretty
you
cool.
can tell your fridge to order your groceries.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
my
pretty cool.
AI
That's
voice,
cool.
but I mean yeah, that's cool and all. However, comma,
It's not built to last.
I want that 1950s fridge.
Yeah.
I mean, be it avocado green, pink, or harvest gold, I want that fridge.
I mean,
'cause
I want
those
the
are
fridge
cool.
that if I need to, I can take the door off the hinge and use it as a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they was stout.
It's
I
probably
mean,
a 1950s
to be fair, the
fridge.
Indiana Jones hiding in the fridge during a nuclear blast not possible.
yeah.
But I get where you're going with
Look,
it.
I know it's not possible because first off, the launch of that, when he hit the ground, every bone in his body would have broke. I don't care who you are, because that's a lot of force. Outside of that, he was right next to a nuclear explosion. He should have died a long time ago.
And
Anyways.
Yeah.
back to Austin.
So, what the hell were we buying right after World War II that
Like-
really sparked America's interest on being a full-on addicted consumer?
Cars.
Cars is one. Very nice.
Houses,
Houses, another. Give me
Household
one more.
appliances.
appliance. That's good.
Fucking on the spot, guys.
Washing
Hell yeah.
machines.
Fucking on the spot. Literally, TVs, cars, washing machines, refrigerators, toasters, vacuums, ovens, ranges. Shit, if you could get your hands on a grill.
So yeah, I heard something about this. They basically the logic, the way they were trying to sell it to people at the time was buy a washing machine, spend more time with your family.
Ah.
Buy a dishwasher, spend
Wait.
more time with your
Right.
But
family.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Those were still needs-based items. Were they necessary? They were a nice need. It was an extra oomph on the need scale,
Mm-hmm.
but that was still needs-based driven. You have to wash your dishes. You have to wash your clothes.
Yeah.
You have to make, your husband toast in the morning.
You have to wash your dishes, but you don't need a dishwasher.
No, I understand, but where it started, at least during my research, and we'll circle back around to this, but it started with a needs-based system. But carry on.
It did. It started with a needs-based system, and that's why our market was so bland in reality. But then we just started making shit that
Yeah.
you didn't really necessarily need.
Yeah.
But it makes your life easier.
Yeah.
And you just came back to literally one of the hardest events known to man. You want to come back to an easy life in this new America.
Yeah,
Okay, well,
yeah.
to be fair, the men were not washing the dishes or the clothes back in the day,
No.
or cooking dinner.
No. But if he bought the dishwasher, he had more bumping the iron time.
I was gonna say his.
I mean,
Why didn't he just go buy Mr. Handy 3000, bruh? That's a Fallout 4 reference. I don't know if anybody got that.
Yeah.
Get your hands on it,
I
I
mean-
reckon.
Yeah. If you could get it, I'm sure we would all have one.
So, between the years of 45 and 50, Americans purchased 20 million fridges,
Oh my God.
21.4 million cars, and
Jesus.
5.5 million stoves, and this was a consistent trend till the early 50s.
So
like,
every year.
so like 54, 55 is when it kind of dropped off. So every year, 20 million fucking fridges.
Oh my God.
21 million cars.
When the next newest model came out, they had to get the next
Oh my
newest model.
God. So I know that we're like just getting into it, but I can already tell that like we very quickly adopted the idea of just buy a bunch of random shit that you don't need.
What was that phrase you asked us if we all knew?
More, newer, and better.
Yeah.
If
I-
it's more quantity, if I can make more of it, more people are gonna want it.
Yeah.
If it's newer than what they just got,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna want it. And
Yeah.
if it's better than what they just got,
Yeah.
definitely gonna
Oh, yeah.
want
Keeping up with the Joneses.
it. Literally.
Honey, Sally down the road, her and Earl, they just got the Frigidaire 3000. We're on the Frigidaire 1500.
Could you imagine if you were the house where the guy owned the appliance store?
Oh,
You had
man.
all the new stuff.
You're king of the neighborhood.
So you know what he did, right? Honey, invite all the neighbors
Everybody.
over.
Cook
They were
out.
the people that had all the cocktail parties
Yep.
and everything.
Just so they could show it off because
Yeah.
I really like that micro. Oh, you can buy one at my store.
Yeah.
I'll be there on Tuesday.
Fun fact about microwaves: when they first came out, they didn't stop when you open the door. So women would be cooking and they'd stop. They'd open the door, stir the food, and then they close it. But women were getting radiation poisoning
Yeah.
from the microwaves.
That's
So
crazy.
that's now why there's two things. One, the fretting.
Yeah, on the
fretting
window.
on the window.
Mm-hmm.
to stop the radiation from
Mhm.
coming through, and when you open the door, that's why the microwave stops.
Wow, that is insane.
That's some of that conversational knowledge that I
Yeah.
have up here, and it just clicked.
That's one of those things where like we don't realize how stupid we actually are until we learn
mean,
something new.
To be fair,
What?
somebody sells you a product, you don't think a whole lot about the product. You just.
I do. I don't know about you, but I do.
I'm talking about people in general.
But that's dumb. That's stupid.
Okay, masses are dumb. Individuals are smart.
Yeah. It's crazy that they were really opening the microwave
But
and
they
just
didn't at
sticking
the
their hands
time.
all
Like
in
when
there.
they're selling the microwave, they weren't saying you're cooking with radiation.
But I mean, yeah, but it's also crazy that not one person was like, "How does this thing work?"
Well, I'm sure there was more than one. However, comma,
It's just all right.
individuals are smart. Masses,
Yeah.
masses are not.
That's just
Carry
very
on,
surprising.
Austin. I'm interested.
So roll back a little bit to earlier. Y'all remember some of those baby boom numbers I gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah, about the amount each year.
Yeah.
Right. So now that I just said from like, let's see, what was it? From 49 until 55,
Mhm.
right? This long span of 20 mil fridges a year.
Yeah, so
21 mil cars a year. All right, so
Jesus.
hear me out. 1945 to 1950.
Mhm.
And I looked at the numbers as these numbers represent one family.
Yeah.
So one family attributes to these numbers, okay?
Okay.
19.2 million babies are born in that range. But we bought 20 million fridges,
I see.
21 million cars.
So we're already buying.
So
more
we're
than what we
already
need.
buying more. In that
Damn.
entire 5-year span, and that whole baby boom span,
Yeah.
that's 76.4 million babies.
And what years did you say that was? What was the time frame?
45 to 50.
So boomers are 46 to 64. That's when
Yeah.
they were born.
That's the whole time. That's the
Yeah.
whole time of the boom.
I
the
just
boom
I just
range.
wanted to throw that out there, for everybody to kind of correlate.
Yeah, that's true. So we're already buying more than we already have.
Mhm.
By the time the whole baby boom's done, that's 76, almost 77 million babies. But 3 years ago, 3 years before the baby boom is done,
Yeah.
we had already crossed 100 million refrigerators,
And
100 million cars,
Yeah.
yeah.
like 80 million fucking ovens. Like,
Damn, dude.
we're already overbuying.
Yeah, we immediately screwed the pooch.
Exactly.
Jesus.
Man, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like we can't have a decent quality fridge because great granddaddy Pappy over there done bought everything back in the day.
Well, and think about it this way.
Yeah.
And I'm going to touch on this a little bit. Refrigerators, ovens, and cars were iPhones of that generation.
Mhm. Yeah.
There was always the next newest thing,
Yeah.
the next better thing. So it's not like some households did have 2 cars on a single income, mind you. But most of them did have a single car, but they were just trading in, they were trading up.
Okay.
Bruh.
And through the early development of it, what I found hilarious was that the government and economy thought that it would help the separation and the vigorness of the spaces between rich, middle class, and poor. They thought that this would fuzz the line out, right?
Oh, okay.
But I guarantee you, it don't.
No, it just makes it worse.
It doesn't. And you know what was funny? I saw a video the other day, and it says, you're middle class because you got a stainless steel fridge in your kitchen and a white fridge and freezer in your garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you got 2 freezers for? What you
But-
got 2 fridges for?
But
Yeah.
I mean, what if you've got a stainless steel oven and a white fridge and dishwasher in the kitchen and a white freezer in the garage? Still middle class? We lower middle class because we don't have 2 fridges.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that just specifically right there, I was like, how does that not prove that this is worse than what you thought it was going to do.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
People are out here with more fridges than they need.
Yeah.
So if they would have stayed with the mentality, nah, I already got a car. I don't need another car
Mhm.
right now.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how many
But-
resources the United States would probably have right
But-
now?
Yeah. A
But-
lot.
The,
Think
not
about
just
it,
the United
though.
States, the world.
whole
Honestly.
Think about it, though.
Oh my lord.
It's making yours and Cindy Lou Who's life easier because you came back from the
Ah.
war and you bought that brand new F-150
There's one of my questions that I have.
and you got extra and you're like, you know what? Cindy Lou need to go to college for what the fuck ever. Whatever was going on at that time. So you bought her a car. So she wouldn't have to use your truck. She didn't need it because y'all live together and you live in the same town and you could really take her there. But you bought her one anyway because...
It's easier.
Oh yeah, because back at that time, women wasn't allowed to ride bicycles or something, wasn't it?
Not quite that early, no. Or not quite that recent, I guess I should say.
So yeah, where I ended my research at was they thought that this was going to blur the line
It just made
between
it worse.
all classes,
Yeah.
and consumerism literally made it that much worse.
Well, yeah, because it gives you like a physical representation of how much money a family has. You knew that the family down the street that didn't have a car in the driveway was poor as fuck, and you knew that the family up the street that had 2 cars, they're rolling in it, and then everybody in between is just like, whatever.
Mhm.
And like they don't even have to know each other or talk to each other for everybody to understand that class separation.
But because I have the money, because I want it, because there's more of it, it's newer, and it's better,
I'm gonna get it,
I'm gonna get it.
bro.
That's the American way now. That's how people think about it in the market. If it's one of those 5, you're more than likely gonna buy it.
How many? I mean, that's true. How often does everybody nowadays? The iPhone 14 come up? Well, I gotta go get it. You've got the 13 Pro.
Hey,
Why do you?
hey,
It's
hey.
new.
Hey, get off my points.
Dang.
No, I'm
Okay.
picking.
Ah.
But I kind of want to hear where you're going next because I feel like I'm going to have a good juxtaposition between the two of you.
Well,
And I don't know where you're going with it, but because you were talking about you're a little further back than
Yeah.
where he was and where I was.
yeah.
So I
some
feel
of
like-
some of mine's go back a little bit like.
So, I mean,
mids-
do you want to jump in here next?
No, not really.
well,
I mean,
well-
I'll answer some questions. I know you had a question you wanted to ask.
Oh, well, he kind of touched on one of my questions.
What was it?
So, without consumerism, how many Americans would have had jobs then and now?
Oof. Damn. Damn, man.
Bro, Pennsylvania steel mills might still be cranking out steel right now.
Yeah. Yeah, but if there wasn't,
If it was not for consumerism,
we wouldn't have as many jobs as we do. Oh, man.
I mean, that was my thought process, and I just kind of wanted to throw that question out there for everybody. Like, it's a very double-edged sword, and it's a sharp fucking edge.
Yeah, I was going to say, I have a feeling I'm going to lie in bed with a sense of dread tonight.
It
because
really,
Yeah.
this
like,
feels
Literally.
depressing.
like my research and the questions I've kind of developed through my own research. To me, it's the Dragonfly Allen thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucked because, like, I'm addicted to what I have.
Yeah.
But no, it's not the right way of life, and I'm trying to slowly scale myself back on things. But again, last night, look, I started vacation today. I knew I didn't have to get up at no certain time today. I did log on for some work, but I knew I didn't have to get up at no certain time. I didn't have to brush my hair. I didn't have to get in my pajamas.
Yeah.
So I had that TV on after dark.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
knew it was bad for me, but I still did dream. So I want to touch on where you're going. You said 16 to 1800s?
So my earliest stat is around 1620, 1650, but it all starts back with global trade. So if people were to think about common day household things that they have that they don't even think about, you
Sorry.
can go to the store and buy this 5 pounds at a time.
So you're thinking like East India Trading Company?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Right? Because that's when I was doing my bit, that's kind of where that's where for me where I saw that it started.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's
So
deeper rooted than what we think.
Right. So common household items today that we have that nobody would, think twice. Oh, I have this all the time. It's not hard to get.
But back in the day, it would have
But
been
back in the day,
Okay. Spice.
That's like
spice was one of them.
the
Yeah.
1% of and tea.
Tea.
That was the 1% of the 1%ers, right?
Sugar.
Tea, sugar, silk, coffee.
Tobacco.
Tobacco.
Those were some of the four big ones. Silk was another one. Silk was a big one. And then, did you? Oh, sorry. And then the other one was ceramics.
Oh, yeah, ceramics. Yeah, because that was Chinese. Or it was
Yes.
Eastern back in the day, and they had never seen some
So
shit like that
porcelain,
before.
so China, like
Right.
Yeah,
your
fine China.
fine
Your fine China.
your
Yeah.
bone China.
Well,
Kinda
that's
where
why
it
it's
was
called-
coined from because
Yeah.
I'll get to that point because it touches into it. So at that time, those were the big things.
Yeah,
The problem was getting it.
right.
If you wanted tobacco or sugar, you had to get it from a tropical area.
Yeah.
Because that's normally where it grew.
Yep.
Which led to territories, both Spain and England, moving to Cuba area, setting up their colonies. Whole slave bit. A majority of the slave trade down in that area was to just funnel a workforce so they could keep growing the tobacco and sugar.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It had that was the only main reason they had the slaves there to begin with. I just need people to make this shit happen.
Yeah.
Was coffee and chocolate not a big part of that too?
They came a little bit later.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Because chocolate was good. They'd known about it,
Or it
but
was
it was when
sweetened.
they got sugar and chocolate.
Yeah.
That's when it.
Oh, yeah.
That's when people was like, "Oh, this shit good."
So
Yep.
And then later on came the booger sugar.
so we're at about 1650.
Yes,
Those are our
from
main
the same
numbers,
thing.
right?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Around 1650, those were the main. That's what people looked for as far as trade. Because
Okay.
you had meat, you had
You're right.
grain for other things. Like
Right.
you didn't have to go and
No matter where you were in the world, you had access to some sort of meat
Yeah,
and some sort
yeah.
of grain.
Some
you
sort
had
of
what you
basic food.
needed where you were.
right. So
But the-
everything kind of was
But the sweets, the fruits, sugars,
spices.
teas, spices.
The exotic
exotic.
flavors.
the
Yeah.
exotic,
The
all
exotic.
all the nice, right?
Yeah.
So come to about 1700, 1720,
Mm-hmm.
everything's booming. Trade's booming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to touch on this a little bit, but I kind of want to leave it for a topic later. That's the golden age of pirates. The reason for that was that triangle of trade between North America, South America, North America, Africa, and then Europe, I believe was the triangle,
Yeah, that sounds right.
right? In that area, there was so much money that if you wanted to try and become lucrative by hitting one ship, all you had to do was take over, I think it was a frigate or bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So frigate, and then there's a whole another list of them, but a decent sized ship, there would be enough cargo and money on that one ship that everybody that was on your ship could enjoy the rest of their lives and never have to worry about it.
Damn.
I'm
You're
loving
talking about a ship nowadays sailing through, back in that time, estimated worth today's standards, 300 million.
so
Sitting on the water.
That's
So-
a lot.
a fucking yacht sitting out there.
I'm kind of pissed at pirates for getting so fucking greedy then, because I'm sorry. If we were doing our time travel machine, give me just one fucking ship, I will sail away. You will never see me again, motherfucker.
Well, they were spending money on. They were influencing their own form of consumerism. Okay,
Yeah, a little bit.
Where's
Yeah.
all the room?
where's
Yeah.
the rum? Where's the wenches? Where's the pig?
Fair.
But so, anyways, around that time, these are the big items. So we're gonna hit a ship, take the resources. When that started happening, it fucks up supply trades. England didn't get its sugar. Now their tea's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wait a minute. America didn't get its tea from England because they hit that ship.
We were the new colonies then, not America.
Right. Well, the colonies.
Okay.
We're the colonies.
America.
We didn't get our tea because it got hit by a ship. Well, then
Yeah.
all the nice stuff that we were going to send to Africa to trade for more slaves
We're not
got
gonna
hit
send-
by another ship,
Oh,
so now
okay.
I can't get more slaves.
I see.
Now I can't get more slaves to go make more of this, so I can trade it with these people.
The
And
whole
it-
thing starts crumbling.
Yeah, it
Okay.
just started falling apart.
That is global economy and global consumerism.
Right. come to the point where at a point, I want to say Europe, but it was more the England territories.
Yeah.
Got to a point where they needed 20 times their recorded amount of sugar per shipment.
Because they were just using that much sugar?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
But were they actually using that much sugar, or were they using that much sugar as a bartering tool? They almost had a monetary status at that point.
From the statistics I said, it was their normal, based off of cargo, it was about they would bring in, let's say 100%, and 60 to 70 would go to the people, and they use that other 30% as trade.
Okay, so
And it got to the point where the numbers flipped almost.
Oh, okay.
They were, they
30%.
needed more. They were losing. They couldn't trade sugar as much.
Yeah.
Because people in England wanted it for their tea, and that's when the chocolate was coming around. So, we need sugar to make chocolate. We need sugar for tea. Coffee's come, sugar and coffee. Sugar was you want to talk about one of the most addictive substances on the planet.
Sugar.
Sugar is your number one criminal, my boy.
You're talking to a sugar addict right now.
Well,
I'm a speaking sugar addict. I already know.
and
I love that
I'm the
shit.
second biggest addict. I'm caffeine addict.
Yeah, caffeine's pretty nice too.
And then I'm weaning off the nicotine. But anyway, carry on.
So that all starts happening. So, I can touch more on how they fix that. We'll do that in a later subject. But getting back to the point, that all disrupting everything, they kind of figure out a solution. They get it settled. Now they got to set up the trades back and get things rolling again. Come to the colonies, right? 1850, right? That's the year.
Yeah.
We're all here. We're all trying to figure out what we're going to do in life.
Yeah.
Austin over here, I'm going to set up in the city. I'm going to make a store. I'm going to stay right here. I'm not trying to push.
I could totally see Austin in the city.
Right?
I really
what's
could.
crazy?
With your hair slicked back and a nice
fucking
hat.
hate the city.
I do
I
too.
despise being in any city.
I'm getting there, right? So then we got you, Ma, right? You decide, I'm going to push out a little bit. I want to see something new, but I also want to make a little bit of money. So I'm going to find a nice spot in the new spot, and then I'm going to make my shop.
Right.
Come to you, Mike, right? I want to be a rancher. I want to farm. I want to be my own boss. I want my own things.
Yeah.
So you go to start making your farm.
Mm-hmm.
You need nails.
Yep.
Where are you going to get nails?
The nearest general store.
Okay. Where's
Or
your
the
nearest general
farrier.
store?
It'd probably be Mom's general store.
So let's say your 100 pack of nails at the time costs $1.
That's a lot of money back then.
It's iron.
You're right.
Someone's got to smith that stuff. They didn't really have.
But I mean,
100 wrought iron
did they not
nails?
have smiths?
They did, but someone still had to sit there and make them. It's not like today where
It's
we got
not mass produced. So
Right.
I mean, would he come to me or would he go straight to the smith?
Does the town have a smith? This is a new territory.
Okay. I'm seeing where you're going now. Okay.
So he needs nails. There's no smith. So he's got to go to you. You got 100 nails. It'll cost him $1. So a penny a nail, we'll say. Okay. Well, so he's going and builds his barn, finds out he needs another 200 nails. So what's he do? He goes back to your store. Well, you
Right.
don't have any more.
Right, because I
So now
sold him all my nails.
Yeah, you sold him all your nails. So now you have to put an order in for
with
him
the farrier, with the smith.
with someone back closer to civilization where they have more, so you can get the supply so you can sell it to him.
So I'm buying it at X price. I'm marking it up X percent.
You'd be buying the nails in bulk from me at a price,
Right.
And then you'd be making your money back selling it at
because I'm
your
marking
price.
up what you charge me.
Those are current standards.
Huh?
Those are current standards.
Oh, it wasn't like that though.
No. Back at the time, it was, this is what I made this. This is what you're paying me right now.
It was even Steven. So
It was even
There
Steven.
was no profit.
So you need nails. Your cost was $1. By the time you've gotten in touch with Austin back in the city, he's got nails. He's got 1,000 of them. But he wants $1. So now you've got to spend $1 to get the nails. So what's that make him have to do?
That's why I was just saying.
He's got to spend more. He's got to pay basically double because you're going to want yours on top.
You know what,
But it's not a markup.
Okay. I feel like that's
It's
a markup.
not. It's not a percentage. Because when it finally gets to you a month later, you had to pay the guy on the carriage to get it out.
I see what you're saying. The middle guy isn't making no profit.
Okay, so
The big guy makes all the profit, and the little guy spends all of
the
his
money.
money
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
to get what he wants.
because I'm paying you and I'm paying to get it to me to give to him.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Here's the rub. In the month it took you to get that other 200 nails, him building his house has been on hold for a month. Where there was a rainstorm. He got sick. Now you've got
Now I
nails and no one to sell them to.
Yeah, nobody to sell them to. So I'm hoping,
That somebody else comes out and tries to build another house because now you've just got inventory sitting there.
right?
Damn, that's hardcore.
That's what moving west was
Damn.
back in those times. It was, you're gonna go out there, your chance of survival. Yeah,
Low.
you on the low percentage. I'm talking you probably had, I'd say lower 20% of survival for people
Damn,
pushing
man.
out west at that time.
I'm so seeing the game Oregon Trail in my head.
Right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about.
I
Oregon
always
Trail.
think about Oregon Trail when
Yeah.
they talk about
So the
pushing
reason I
out west.
used
Yeah.
the
Gold
statistic of
rush.
shops, right? The reason I used the statistic of shops is because it correlated to something I actually read. In 1820, in the colonies of America, most stores were general stores. You'd walk in,
Right. You got your flour, you got your sugar,
They
you got
had-
your cloth.
they'd have groceries, tools. They were a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Within 30 years, it had changed to the point where you could find specialty shops on any street.
Wow, that fast.
You
Crazy.
could go find a jewelry store.
You
You
went.
could go find a tool shop, a tool store.
Mhm.
You could go find a clothes shop.
Mhm.
It was specialized. You could look outside at the window or the sign outside the store and know, oh, that's what item they
But
sell. there.
Right.
were those specialty stores for the general populace or the 1%?
They start. So it was the way they said it started as people pushed west. It kind of progressed with it. So the more people pushed west, the more sophisticated stuff got as the further people pushed west.
I was just
So
wondering if the
so this is where it would go. You're the general store where Mike's at.
right.
Austin's back in the city. So when Mike finally pushed out to push that homestead out and you gave word to him, oh, well, okay. Well, I'm not selling as many nails, so I'm going to focus on what I am selling more of.
Right.
And then I'm going to tell my buddy down the street who's making nails, hey, you know what? This is who's been buying my nails. You can sell it to him. I'm going to go focus over here because I'm going to make more money over here for myself.
Okay. Okay.
As we pushed forward, stores had less need to carry more because
You could have more stores.
I went and
'Cause you could
started.
have more
I went
stores.
and started selling cigarettes, but John's been smithing the nails for me the whole time.
Right, right.
So I just
I
went
was
to him
just-
and said, "Hey, bro, this your profit
I was
now.
kinda
I'm making
thinking-
more bank over here."
I was kind of thinking with the expansion, like if you had specialty stores, only a small percent could go to the specialty stores, where the majority of them were going to the general store, where they were buying bulk cloth, bulk flour, bulk sugar, eggs.
In my
But what
thought,
gave rise to the specialty shops?
in my thought, I feel like the specialty shops are already going to be paying more. You're already spending more money because you're specializing in that specific
Right.
field.
You
But
don't-
you could potentially pay less because that's all that they have. So you know that they have it and they have a
but
lot of it.
maybe only in bulk quantities.
He's got the halo holding up the devil horn holding up the halo over there.
Yeah, I guess Jonathan looks like he
Snip,
has
snip,
the answers.
Snip, snip,
So-
both sides of the ear.
Now that I've given you all this information, I'm going to dial it back a little bit real quick.
Okay.
We're going to go back to around the 1700s.
That's a dirty trick you just did there.
Well, I know. But it keeps people interested sometimes. And if they don't, well, you know, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
But, so we're going to dial it back to around 1730, 1740. That back where the trade started picking back up.
Yeah.
England started I think England is where it all started. That's my pin in all of this.
Okay.
So as they were trading, they were one of the main ones that had trade with Asia. Well, as people were expanding
Didn't they damn near, like, that was where the East India trading company came from, was England. Like, they basically monopolized.
Right. Well, they were getting India and Asia stuff
Yeah.
and selling it to everybody, and then kind of they were like the middleman of everything.
Yeah,
at a point.
but they had the most to gain.
Right.
Right.
So it came to the point where, as we were pushing further and further into the colonies and expanding west, Well, England's got nice things. They've got scissors, they've got mirrors, they've got porcelain pots, nice plates. I'm over here in the stick, but I'd really like a nice pair of scissors. My hair's getting a little messed up, or a nice shiny razor so I could shave my beard. I'm gonna put an order in for that. Okay. Makes it all the way back to the coast. There ain't no more scissors. There ain't no more razors. Now I got to get it from Europe.
So
Or-
a year later.
Or you want a nice fancy urn for when your husband brings you flowers in fresh from the field when he's been out there all day. You want a nice vase to put them in, right? It's got to come from England.
A year later.
Right, a year later. Well, it got to the point they had such an increase in demand for ceramics, England started faking it.
They're making fake
I like
porcelain?
it.
They started making their own ceramics because they started figuring it out, and that's where
Oh.
fine china kind of got its own bit.
Be-
While you had
right.
English china and it was good, it wasn't fine china.
It wasn't the real China.
It wasn't the real china.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's be real. Like, it wasn't as delicate, it wasn't as pristine, but like, I'm thinking in that time period, I want durability.
I think I see what Cruz is saying here. Is that yes, you could get the cheaper product that'll do the same job, but there's a newer, better version out there.
Which
So I can get you, right? We'll put it like this. I can get you a nice set of plates.
Yeah.
6 plates, 6 cups, the whole set, right?
Yeah.
I need $20.
Okay. That's not so bad. Well, that's kind of expensive.
Then
Back then.
England,
Yeah.
right, starts making their bit. Hey, bro, I get you the whole set. I just need 50 cents,
Oh shit, I'm doing that.
right?
you got to
Yeah.
pay the transport across the ocean.
Oh, okay.
But it still beat the price
Of the
of
fine
it coming
china.
all the way from Asia.
And I don't think it'd be dollars. I think it'd been bucks.
Well,
I'm being a smart
I'm
ass.
trying to correlate it. What you got?
All right, so I got a small little pin real quick.
Okay.
So, English china and fine china, right? So it's called bone china.
Yes.
That's what the English did.
They
You
use
don't-
bones.
Yes.
Okay.
So they used the Chinese stone, bone ash, and China clay.
Okay.
True fine china is just Chinese stone and Chinese clay.
There's
Right.
no ash in
There's
it.
no ash.
So they had-
ash
so it's
made
an
it
additive.
thinner.
Oh.
It made the piece itself, the material was thinner and it was smoother.
But the ash was a filler,
Yes.
basically, to
Yeah.
cut the cost.
Basically.
So someone could pick up real china and bone china and
the
automatically
difference.
tell
Yeah,
the
okay.
difference because fine
Weight
china
difference.
was
the weight and the texture, probably.
Yeah, it was the weight and the texture of it. Bone china was smoother, lighter, less material, obviously.
Yeah.
Bone china, that shit's. Let's go pull out 10 pounds of Georgia clay real quick. That's what that shit
I mean,
was.
Make some
honestly,
fine china.
speaking as a single mom of 3, I'm gonna make some shit out of the Georgia clay before I even think about spending money on any kind of china,
Oh,
English or Chinese china.
Oh yeah. We got it.
I need durability,
So that's really the definition and the small comparison of.
but I
Okay.
do love that. I like that.
So now we get back to, 1850s. That's where we're at, late 1800s, right? People are starting to set up homesteads. What's this I hear about England? They've got this new thing called power.
Electricity.
Electricity.
Well, I can't even get a candle to light the living room right now. Like, I need to get some. So, lanterns, glassware, all of that stuff became heavy things that people wanted.
Yeah.
So, Ma, you're the shop owner at this town, right? You're starting to get orders in all day.
I need to find a glass blower.
No. You're getting orders for lanterns. You're getting orders for masonry tools. You're getting carpentry tool requests. You're getting food requests. You're getting to the point that you're getting more requests
Then I can fill.
than you can fill because the carriage driver you have can't fit that much on that thing. So what's your best option?
Sublet that shit out.
Specialized.
Specialized.
Sublet or expansion.
So you were the first store in that town. Chances are you have the monies to start opening smaller stores
Okay.
throughout the town.
Okay.
And then putting the people you want in those towns. There's spell till she stops. You're still making your money.
But you're not the middleman anymore. Now
But
you're the
now
top dog
now
in your
the-
area.
Now it's not all on you. You've got
Right.
a workforce on you.
I'm spreading out the costs,
Right.
but getting more gain.
Oh
Okay.
wow. That's economics, baby.
That is economics.
Dang.
Okay, maybe I did a little bit more research than I thought.
Oh yeah, I think you were
Yeah,
sandbagging
just a
a little
little
bit at
bit.
the beginning.
But that was really what I had because I couldn't keep reading the
That's-
article. I was at work.
That's actually quite fascinating. I mean, in my mind, because I did not go back that far
Well,
at all.
in my head when we were talking about it, I was like, yeah, okay, people buy stuff now,
Yeah,
but people been doing this.
yeah.
And-
I did some light research, and I think Austin and I ended up with the same sources.
Yeah.
Because what he was saying was a lot of what I was reading.
Yeah.
But the majority of people consider right after Dub 2 to be when consumerism started. But according to what Jonathan is saying, it's more deeply rooted. It's a more deeply rooted thing. Like that back then, it made sense for it to be that way, but over time, we took it too
So
far.
So I think for me, based off of what you're saying, sorry.
No,
I
go
saw
ahead.
your
Go ahead.
I think for me, what it is it was steadily increasing over time,
Yeah,
and then it was
we purposely increased it.
well, we purposely increased it because it benefited us, right.
Yeah,
But I think as a whole, worldwide, it boomed because that was the Second World War in less than 50 years.
yeah.
You know, you're talking about two different wars where fathers and sons fought
Major.
these battles.
I mean, how many families lost their
Everything.
family line?
Yeah, their bloodline and everything.
Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
there are generations of people we will never know
Because of those two
wars.
wars.
Yeah,
One of those generations might have just naturally had the genetic cure for cancer. We will never know because they're gone now.
That's
Yeah.
a whole other subject we're not going into
Well,
today.
I know.
that's very deep in the weeds.
Yeah.
But you know, it's all those things.
Talking about
So
the
what
subject that all Jews know the cure.
No.
Whoa.
Okay, subject number 333 that we're going to delve into at some point in time.
Right.
All right.
So I feel like I kind of met in the middle. So I did touch on consumerism in Europe, but not the same way you did. Like for me, it was Europe used to be like America, used to be very needs driven.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, before we go any further, I'm gonna just say I feel like Mom's gonna take the cake with this one.
I think so. I think so. I'm putting my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Aw, thanks, guys.
Well, you got the whole clipboard and
Hey, you got the clipboard out,
5,
shit's
6
printed
pieces of
out.
pa-
That's
yeah.
like 3 pieces of paper over
It's
there.
'cause
MLA format.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go, dude.
It's because I can't read my left-handed handwriting, fellas. That's all. You know how long it took me to type this shit up because I couldn't. I had to struggle to read my own handwriting because when I get to taking notes, I'm fast.
my handwriting's. I guarantee mine's worse. If you saw my handwriting, you would think that a schizophrenic with Parkinson's wrote some shit down.
You would think I have multiple personalities because half my handwriting's all caps and
Yeah.
half my handwriting's cursive with
Oh, yeah.
bubbles over my eyes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, moving on from like whose handwriting's the worst. Little known fact on handwriting: do you know there are like millions of deaths in the United States because of doctors' atrocious handwriting?
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, they go to get their prescription filled, and the pharmaceutical.
Pharmacists can't read.
They're like,
fucking
"What the
handwriting.
fuck is this? I think it's this," and then they give them whatever they think
They
it
fill
is.
it wrong.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, can you print that out? I don't need that cursive no more.
Yeah,
I just
can
need
you
you to
just
print
type
that.
that
Yeah,
shit
type it
out?
out. That's
Yep.
something. Your
Right.
scribbles don't mean nothing to me.
So
Right.
here's me being a doctor that's being a responsible doctor. That is why my shit's typed.
I got you.
Nice.
So I kind of touched a little bit on Europe, but not in the same way you did. So for me, it was it was the caste system, right?
Well, that's from India specifically, is the caste system.
What did they call it in Europe? There was it started with an F.
Serfs.
It started with an F.
Oh,
Wait.
feudalism.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, feudalism. That's yeah.
So it
but
kinda
that's serfs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Serfs are part of it.
I just couldn't remember
So
the
it
big name.
kind of started that way, right? And so you had the people. These is the 0.01%, not just the 1%, the 0.01%.
Chosen by
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but
The Irish guys.
Yeah.
as time progressed, times changed, everything evolved. It kind of started with dressmaker shops because they wanted to cater to the women.
Mm.
And you want the latest fashion, all you have to do is walk down a street in London proper,
Right.
look at that dress, and these women will ogle over the dress. They can't afford the dress in the window. 99.9% could not. But they walked in the shop and there were things they could afford.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's kind of and I honestly didn't go too deep into that. I'm like, it's not really relative to the conspiracy that I had in my mind about turning billions into addicts, manic consumers.
Right.
So-
Purposely making people want to buy stuff.
Right. So, yes.
I have a little pin on those shops that you're talking
Pull
about.
it. Pull it now, because I'm about to go deep.
Okay.
We're going to talk about Sigmund Freud.
So you're talking about, the higher ups had their, this is where we go, this is where we shop, these are our nice things. It was sectioned out. All the way from like back in castle times when it came to stuff like that. So what it was you have your castle, and your castles obviously had the smiths and stuff for the soldiers and this, that, the third, right?
Yeah.
Bunk all that, dude. Those guys were important for the like functioning of everything else. Yeah, no. What you wanted was to be like one of the guild artisans
You're right.
for that castle, I guess is the way.
keep?
Well, the keep, yeah. I guess is
Or
the better.
territory.
Or territory,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
But if you were part of that guild's artisan, that means you had proved yourself to the royal family
Hey, you were the shit.
that you knew what you were doing and you could do it right.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I'm the court jester.
So
Hold my beer.
So it kind of start now that I'm thinking about it, probably started way back in the day. So you've got your keep, you've got your keep, you've got your keep. Your guy knows how to make really nice jewelry.
Oh, hell yeah.
Really nice jewelry.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So your guy, right? He's really good at fabrics. I'm talking best clothes out
I'm here
there.
to tell you, all three of you are going to have cravats, scarves, top hat, pocket
Better
squares.
be wearing some mink.
Ooh.
Have
Your
me.
guy got all the nice stuff. The nice knives, the nice scissors, the real fine edges, that, the nice...
That nice utensil shit.
What
the
you-
nice utensils
What
and
your
tools.
what your people got? Because we got to talk about what we's trading amongst ourselves before we go out to the public.
I got a lot of wood.
Hey, that's good.
Hey, that's
Hey,
fucking
lot
good.
of wood.
Hey.
That's good. I got a lot of wood.
Hey,
Hey.
wood? Shit.
Right? So,
You got a master
you know,
carver.
back then, we've got all, we're in our keep, so we only send emissaries, every now and again. Well, I want to be in good relations with Mike. Okay. Person who's in charge of my storage, send Mike 400 things of wood as a gift.
Units.
Units. Send him 400 units of wood as a gift. Well,
Okay.
sir, what do you... Nah, just send it as a gift. Matter of fact, while we're at it, I'm going to send 100 units of wood to Mom at her place as a gift, and I'm going to send you 150 wood to your place. Just as a, with numbers, right?
Okay.
A few months later, carriage pulls up to your keep, Mike.
Okay.
200 units of wood.
Sweet.
And you got a letter from me saying, hey, bruh, I just want to be better friends. Here's some wood.
I really feel like we're playing Minecraft right now.
Well, ish.
It's fun to think about it that way.
So you get all this wood. Matter of fact, come to find out, I didn't notice. You were actually trying to build something and you needed that wood.
I'm like, dang, dude.
Trying to build a new gym store.
Something.
Right.
It was, it was
I'm like,
kismet.
Huh?
It was kismet. It was fate. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So let's say, hypothetically, right, out of your kindness gesture, you send some kind of nice jewelry.
The finest
back.
golden bands that we can make.
Sure,
Yeah.
that, right? You send that back to me.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ma done got my thing of wood. She done sent me this nice robe from the measurements she could get out of the guy that brought the wood.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he done sent me some nice stuff too. By the time you pulled up already, because I sent it to you first.
'Kay.
So now I've got these nice golden bands. By the time their people pull up,
We seen them golden bands. We're like, oh, bro,
well,
where'd you get that
those?
shit?
Oh,
Because
well,
I want some.
I got a friend over here. He's got them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, matter of fact, let me see if I can get you some. Hey, Mike, I need some more of that jewelry.
That's why
Yeah.
word of mouth is your
Okay,
best and
well,
worst.
what do you
worst
got? You know,
advertisement.
I need some more wood, but what else you got? Well, I can get you a nice set of clothes. Maybe
Get
I
you
get
some
you
nice
a nice
linens.
pair of scissors.
That's enticing.
So that, it was trade. But if you look at it, that's really specializing in keeping specialized people to yourself. I think that's really probably where.
And that's where a
Where
lot
it
of last
started?
names came
Probably.
from.
I see.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got top of the line San My knife sets. Come at me.
I'm just saying, like, the name Miller came from people who worked in mills,
Yeah.
you know, and I can't. I'm drawing a blank because this is not the research I did.
Yeah.
However, let's get back to consumerism.
Well, I was talking about old consumerism.
No. I love it. I love it. And I think that was a fabulous in the weeds.
I think it's good to recognize what it used to be.
Yeah.
And then how it's evolved.
How far we have fallen, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave that right there because by the time I'm done, your thoughts may change
How far you have
Just a-
fallen, young
just-
Padawan.
just a wee bit. Anybody who's on the wagon with me in the beginning, that we have fallen so far from where we began.
Okay.
So I kind of started in a completely different phase than all of yous.
Okay.
I started in the 20s.
Okay.
So,
I wanted to go there.
Like the 1920s?
I want-
I wanted
Yeah.
to start like right at Industrial Revolution, right when the train started. But I was like, I need to go a bit deeper.
Yeah.
It was really jumping.
Yeah. So I'm kind of digging where I started and this was my favorite thing about us doing a group topic idea. Because I knew we were gonna hit some similarities, but we were gonna research this shit differently, and I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So I started on resilience.org is where I started, and this is where I got the whole idea for this conspiracy. What?
I didn't say my references, but it's okay.
Cite your sources.
Yeah.
Do you want to cite your sources real quick?
My sources for my portion of research was PBS org, the American Experience, and then the article from Harvard
Oh, okay.
University.
Word.
Yep.
Nice. Well, I mean, you gave total credit to the chick that wrote the article.
Elizabeth Cohen.
That's good enough.
Yeah, no. She's the one that deserved the credit.
Yeah.
So, corporations in the 20s were using subliminal or subtle messaging to train Americans to desire ever increasing amounts of goods.
In the
Whether-
20s they were
in
doing
the 20s, whether the goods be services or product.
it? Okay.
All right. Edward Bernays and Paul Mazur. Those were the two big ones, two big ones. But then I get into Chalicki, and then I get into B.J. Fogg. So we're going to start with Edward Bernays. This is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, the you want to fuck your mom Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, the weirdo.
Yes. Mindfucker galore.
Yeah.
Okay. So they literally led the pack in using psychology and data mining and social engineering in the 20s.
Oh, okay.
Before data mining and social engineering were fucking coined.
Right. They were doing it.
They were doing this shit. So, and mass psychology.
Mhm.
Basically, herd mentality, mob mentality, that's mass psychology. And it's used in advertising today. It's the use of the human's instinct to want to fit in and be accepted. Basically, FOMO.
That is so true. Hey,
It's all
If-
the. Sorry.
if I don't get those new Air Forces, I'm not gonna fit in with the cool kids at school, bro.
Yeah. Mom, you didn't buy my Nike ski mask. I can't go to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I was a kid, anything from Walmart was Bobo.
It's still like that.
You had
Like,
your,
I
You had
remember-
your Bobo shoes. You had your, we had the fake starters, and then we had real starters.
Mhm.
When I'm talking about starter
Let's
jackets.
talk about the
brand
fact
starter?
that Champion was a Walmart brand.
That is Bobos.
And now,
Champion's
It's
a
big.
luxury brand
yeah,
now.
Champion's
know.
luxury.
Those were Bobos back in my day.
Yeah, people just consider it luxury these days, and now it just suddenly became luxury.
Yeah.
Even though it was
y'all
like-
don't remember that shit being on aisle 7 at Walmart.
That and the and ones and everything.
Yeah, and one.
Okay, and one's relatively new. And one wasn't a thing in my day, but
It's like-
Champion was Bobo. That was fake starter.
Yeah,
Yeah, Champion was fake starter.
Yeah.
that's kind.
So-
and one was like fake Jordans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So Paul Mazur, he was a bigwig banker in the 20s. a couple of quotes
Mm-hmm.
from this fucker. Turn life's energy into American corporations' profits. Shift from a needs to a desire culture. Desires must overshadow the needs.
And this was his like philosophy for business.
Those are direct quotes from this dude.
But like, what's the context?
To turn life's energy, your hard work, my hard work, our blood, sweat, and tears that we put into laboring a job,
To
8
their
to
profit.
12 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
into corporations' profit.
That was his whole goal. He was
That
like,
was the goal.
all right.
And desires must overshadow needs. We used to be a needs-driven society, and
Right.
I was trying to like drop little crumbs
Mm-hmm.
and both of the topics that were brought up thus far. So data mining was used before it was coined. I mentioned that. So Edward Bernays, I kind of went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. As I said, Sigmund Freud's nephew.
Yep.
He was kind of evil, but all the way genius.
We got a
Okay.
flyover coming.
Evil genius.
Flyover. So
Sorry, I'm. Quick pause. I want to see the plane, if we can.
I think it's too far that way. On
Probably.
the tree line. So he was the first person to promote females to smoke, because back in your time period you were discussing,
Oh yeah, no.
women didn't smoke.
Right.
So he promoted cigarettes to women by branding them as feminists. They were feminist torches of freedom.
Isn't that when they
basic-
came out slimmer?
I think that did come along because of this. I didn't dig down that
I
rabbit
think
because
that's when they came out with them long ass sticks.
we
that they
could
put 'em on.
we could go down the tobacco rabbit hole all day long. I started to go into it. I'm like, yeah, that's a whole nother level.
That
Yeah.
stick was a filter.
Yeah.
So basically, feminist torches of freedom. We're saying, hey, women, you tired of being underneath your man's thumb? Smoke a cigarette, bitch. Cars.
Yeah.
Cars were representation of male masculinity and sexuality.
Oh, really?
That makes sense.
That's how they promoted automobiles.
That does make sense.
So,
Yeah.
on that note, I think it was the Corvette.
Yeah.
I forget which model in particular. But when they were
Jimmy Dean.
when they were designing it,
James Dean.
if you were to basically put your head right above the dash and look forward, the silhouette the car makes is the same silhouette.
Of like the figure of a woman.
Not the
Oh.
Or a
yes, the figure
phallus.
of a woman,
A phallus.
but it's like the midsection of a woman, like thighs
Oh.
and
Stomach and
okay.
stuff.
and
yeah.
like lower stomach, pelvic area,
Yeah.
and like when you look at it side by side, you're just like, huh,
Them some dirty dogs, man.
huh, okay, okay.
Still buy it though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it had a V12, bro. I had to buy it.
The old Corvettes?
No, I was exaggerating it.
Oh.
I think the old Corvette started as a 6, maybe.
No, it was probably a V8. Because it came out in like the 50s.
I don't know, bro.
I don't know. That's a completely different thing as well.
So we got like 4 more shows, like 4 more topics, just like off
Possibly.
the-
Roll out of
Yeah.
here already.
Possibly,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You made it to the questions yet.
Yeah.
one of the things Bernays claimed was that the human masses would inevitably succumb to manipulation. A good propagandist could compete with evil. I think he's saying evil or advertising could be used for good or evil, but who's good or evil? So
Right.
like my definition of good and evil might be different than what the chief executive of General Mills, which I'm going to touch on, those are 2 different things. My good and evil are like moral, whereas I feel like corporations' good and evil is like you need to buy Philip Morris cigarettes instead of what's another brand? Philip Morris,
Marlboro.
and I think Philip Morris might be part of Marlboro, might be part of that, but you know whatever another tobacco company is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Marlboro. I
Camel
don't know.
and Marlboro.
Winston.
Right. So, or you know, GE versus Frigidaire.
Yeah.
Pall Mall.
So
Paul Mall.
Pall Mall, yeah, there we go. So, and Paul Mazur, this banker,
Yeah.
also said people must be trained to desire, to want new things, even before the old is completely consumed and used.
Wow.
That goes to your 20 billion refrigerators.
Yeah. Having,
For
even though the one
a quarter
isn't
of
fucked
that
up.
amount of households.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it
So-
kind of stands to reason now, thinking about it. You know, your grandfather back in the day. Hey, they just don't build them like they used to back in the day. They last forever. Now they break as soon as you touch it.
Them motherfuckers were buying new shit before old shit was broke.
That's what I'm saying, though. But they weren't wrong. That the shit was built better back then. It lasted longer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but we were getting rid of it even though there was nothing wrong with it.
When that's
Yeah.
where
It was said that Bernays showed corporations how to make people want things they did not need by linking mass-produced goods to the unconscious desires, which post-World War II was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because pre-World War II, pre the Depression, which was when all of this started, like the advertising for consumerism started pre-Depression, which was pre-World War II.
Pre-World War One.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was before mass production was actually a thing. We wanted to make people want things, but the wars really kind of kicked that shit off because you got these big companies and corporations that are mass producing shit. The wars ended, and it's like, fuck, what do we do with all this shit?
Yeah.
Enter advertisers.
I see.
Yep. So, and then this is where I kind of touched into, like, these thoughts weren't new. The 18th century England had them. I already touched on that. And it was to create envy.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to go any deeper into that because we've touched on that more than once. I did find an article by Jeremy Lent. Fucking phenomenal. The article is called Mind Control. It's happening to you right now.
Yep.
They promoted roles, desires, and status symbols to increase corporations' profits. Wayne Chilicki, the or a chief executive of General Mills cereal, and I really had a hard time. Like, I really did try to find what time frame he was the chief executive of General Mills.
Yeah.
I got tired of fucking trying to Google that shit. I'm
Huh.
like, whatever.
Okay.
Moving on. However, this man was quoted by saying, when it comes to targeting kid consumers, we at General Mills follow the Procter & Gamble model of cradle to grave. We believe in getting them early and having them for life.
Yeah.
Which is a fucking phenomenal model if your shit's good. And your
Yeah.
shit's good for the people.
God
Yeah.
damn, is it sick?
Huh?
It's sick.
It is
No,
sick.
but I mean, if you think about it, okay.
I'm grabbing someone into a circle where they don't even understand their own consciousness
Right.
yet.
And that's the fucked up part.
But I already got them on the grab of they need that new Ninja Turtle toy.
So I was kind of thinking of it. I tried to take the positive outlook on that. Like, if what you are mass producing and are selling is something that's good for the people and it's a lasting product. Okay, General Mills is cereal, so we know it's a perishable good.
Yeah.
But if your General Mills cereal is helping kids get a nutritious breakfast in the time where moms were going to work because dad was off at war, that's a fucking win, right?
Yeah.
But now, what's Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Sure. Well, that's a whole nother thing we can delve into, but cereals and General Mills and Kellogg specifically, since the 40s, have made cereals very bad for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which I'm not going to touch on that.
Yeah, that's a
but
whole nother thing.
that is one of those super sharp double-edged swords. So,
Yeah.
like, you can fall on the side that, yeah, let's get them young and get them for life. In my mind, if our shit's good.
Nah, I think just based off the psychology alone, it's evil. Even if it's good for you and the product is good, it's still evil
Which
psychology.
is where I go back to the fact that these people are fucking evil. They
They're-
could use their
Yeah, I mean,
genius
you're
for good.
Yeah, literal evil
You're,
geniuses.
Yeah.
you're coercing and manipulating
Yeah.
someone into something that
Right.
they have no idea of that
Even
that's
if it,
going on.
Yeah, even if it is good for them, the fact that you're coercing and
I was really trying to take a neutral stance on
That
this.
ain't happening.
I get it.
I was really trying to be neutral on this shit. So,
French fry. I had a pin.
oh, you got is
You,
that a
you
pin?
want the name for what that basically sounds like to me on what they wanted the whole time?
Oh, don't say it.
what?
What don't you want me to say?
Good. No, I want to.
What are you talking about?
They're hurting us.
They are, yeah.
Well, and that's the mob mass psychology,
Yeah.
herd psychology.
Sheep.
Because
Sheeple.
if you think about it,
Sheeple.
right, the big corporations, the ones that you work for, let's say, you work at
No,
some
don't.
store.
Let's not say
No,
names.
no, I'm not. I'm
I
not.
feel like I'm name dropping too much, and I don't want us to get in
No,
trouble
I
for
was,
that shit.
let you
We
do.
could say Amazon. Everybody hates Amazon.
You work. You do a job, right?
Okay.
You get paid $15 an hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. If you follow the business up high enough to the business that owns the business you work for, I guarantee you the business that owns your business also owns another business to where they're paying you to do this job so you can go straight back over here to their other store and give them their money back.
Right. Yeah.
But it makes you feel good.
Right.
I'm gonna keep going down my dive.
You
And
got
then
it.
Then I got some questions for you, fellas.
Okay.
So, enter B.J. Fogg. He founded a field called captology.
Okay.
CAPTCHA.
Captology? Okay.
It's technical data mining. He teaches how to use technology to change people's minds and behaviors. FOMO.
Yeah. It taps into FOMO.
They capitalize on FOMO.
Right.
So I'm just you know what? I'm just gonna keep on going down my list.
Mhm.
You guys interject where you feel you need to interject.
Okay.
So Sherry Turkle is a psychologist. She said we sacrifice our daily physical intimacy with those around us by focusing our attention on the screen in our hands.
Yep.
And when I read that as daily physical intimacy, I didn't look at that in a sexual content. Just I want to put that straight up out there.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are levels of intimacy.
Yeah.
You are my child. I'm intimate with you in a way, not sexual conduct.
Well, intimacy can be defined as simple common communication with
human
other people.
interaction
Yeah.
that is on a one-on-one level. I just feel like there's a idea tagged on to intimacy.
People see the word intimacy now and see equal sex.
Right. And that is
Well,
not
that's because this is going to be a rough one, but those people are slightly undereducated on the terms of actual words.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah. So, okay. I know we all understand this term in a non-sexual way, but in a personal one-on-one way, and I just wanted to not dumb it down, but just to spell it out because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying or what Sherry Turkle is saying.
Mhm.
So, but this is super true. Go to the fucking grocery store, go to the movie theater, go to a sporting event, go to a concert, go anywhere and see how many people are. What's my rule at the fucking dinner table? What is my rule? If
No
we're all
phones.
eating dinner together,
No phones.
Yeah, no phones.
no fucking devices. You know, and like I saw memes about since phones no longer have cords, people have become more disconnected
Yeah.
than when phones had cords.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and I believe that wholeheartedly. That's my personal opinion. Or go to work. You know, how many people sit on their phone at fucking work?
A lot.
And then I keep going down this rabbit hole, and I really had to dial myself back. But something that stuck out to me: Facebook did an experiment on 689,000 of their users.
Okay.
I could not find the exact year this experiment happened because of the controversy around the experiment.
All right.
But I did find multiple sources to maintain this experiment actually did happen. Facebook semi-recognizes it.
Okay.
but they sent their users an excess of positive or negative items in their newsfeed just to see the reaction, which then led to a whole nother thing in Australia, Facebook users, where Facebook goes, I know what these specifically teenagers are thinking, so you can market to them, is basically what it boiled down to.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucked up.
I don't know if it's Facebook, but I heard that a company like Facebook, they understand people so well that like they understand their users better than the user themselves knows. Like there was an example where a woman was like scrolling on Facebook or something, and she kept getting ads for like diapers and formula.
Turns out she was pregnant.
She was
didn't know
pregnant,
it.
and she didn't know that she was pregnant, but Facebook knew she was pregnant based off of like the algorithm and all her other researches,
And that's
searches
where
and stuff.
AI is so fucking intuitive and fucking smart, like based on things she was
Looking
saying
up.
she was feeling or
Yeah.
searching.
Mm-hmm.
It fucking recognized that shit.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. But Facebook basically did the same thing and told I don't know if it was advertisers or government. Again, I couldn't find a whole lot on it. I'm not going to put a whole lot into this other than the fact that's fucked up.
Oh,
If this indeed actually happened, emphatically, without a doubt, fuck you.
Yeah.
Just saying. So, but advertising is used to promote a product or a service, right? That's what it used to be. I have a product that is a base need product. I have nails. I have bolts of cotton. I have silverware. I'm a farrier. I can shoe your horse, right?
Those are services.
Right. Goods and service. That advertising used to just promote straight up that. It was needs based. Now it's beyond needs based.
Mm-hmm.
So now they create a connection that makes you desire the need. You don't really need it, but you want it, so that desire in your mind has become a need.
Right.
It's about status. So I touched on a certain device or devices that we all know and love, and I think all of us have. When the new phone comes out for this product, how many people are camping out overnight for the new one that's launching?
A bunch of people.
I don't think they do
all the
campouts
time.
anymore.
They definitely do.
I remember the campouts for GameStop,
Yeah.
but that even stopped because of digital download.
But you can't digitally download a phone.
No, but you can get it in the mail.
Yeah, you can get it. I've never bought
So
a phone through the mail.
now I will say COVID kind of changed shit.
Yeah.
I was just thinking something.
COVID did change shit. Companies had to adapt and overcome.
Mhm.
But pre-COVID, how many people was pitching tents outside the mall?
All the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of people.
So this kind
I
of
hated
got
that.
me thinking in a different way. Not to be a dork, but I'm gonna be a dork. It really reminds me of the Hunger Games, where there's a part, and I can't remember which book. Don't quote me on it. Yes, I've read all the books. Yes, I watched all the movies. I'm an idiot. However, there was a point where when Katniss and Peeta were in the Capitol
Mm-hmm.
for the first time, and there's a big party in the Capitol. These people were eating so much, and to the excess, they ate or drank something that made them throw up.
Oh, so they could keep eating and
So
drinking?
they could keep eating and drinking, while the surrounding districts, for lack of a better, I see your pen,
No, it's the first one. That's all I was trying to say.
they were completely needs based, whereas the Capitol was like, we desire this.
Gluttony at its finest.
Right, right. And that was fucked up. Pull your pen, because I got a little bit more and I got a bunch of
He
questions.
didn't have a pen.
It wasn't my pen. I was just. It was the first one, if I'm not mistaken.
Movie 1 or book 1 is
Oh, was
what
it?
you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Okay.
But the scene is actually, to go back to that scene, is you can kind of see the difference
of the two because like you said, you have Katniss and PETA.
They get on the fucking train. That was the first thing.
Right, and they already weren't used to it, but then they get to the cat. But they're from,
Opulence.
the furthest out.
Yeah. They were like the worst. They were the worst of the worst.
He would throw burnt bread so other people could eat. Like that was something he said.
Yeah.
He did that to Katniss. Yeah.
Right, but then you've got these other two that have lived in the capital their whole life. And they're not only promoting the idea of, eat what you want, take this drink, throw up, and then eat more. They're laughing about it.
Yeah.
And you can see, like, the discomfort, almost disgust in Katniss and PETA behind it. They're like, I don't, like, it didn't make sense.
So
it does not.
That kind of leads in a little bit of the conversation we touched on, was it last night or the night before, where with utopia and dystopia, we are a dystopian society.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to go any further than that.
But yeah.
But that doing all the research fucking just made me think of the fucking Hunger Games and that bullshit. And I'm like, fuck, that's us. We's legit that. So.
We're getting there. 100%.
So, and then I went a little bit further because, I'm going to keep going. I'm mom. So look at holidays nowadays. What is the?
Black Friday.
We're not even touching. I'm not even touching on Black Friday. I'm leaving that one alone. But what are holidays called nowadays? What's the coined term?
Sales.
Hallmark holiday. Have you not heard? Have you heard that?
Hallmark.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Hallmark
yeah.
because of Hallmark greeting cards. Yeah.
Yep.
So holidays have greatly changed from 80 to 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Now it's, they're Hallmark holidays. So businesspundit.com has an article that's titled, it tied it up with a bow. And this is the only thing I'm going to pull from this whole website. And then I went into pure fucking stats, and then I went into pure questions. We live in an age where the holidays lost their once special meaning and have now become commercialized.
Oh yeah. 100%.
So this is what it led me into. In 2022, Christmas earned how much money do you think Christmas earned in 2022? Post-COVID.
Worldwide or in the U.S. alone? Does it not specify?
It did not specify.
I'm gonna say $4 billion.
You got an idea?
I want to go with like 140 bill.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go in the middle there and say about like 80 bill.
$940 billion in sales.
Wow.
Right.
Almost
Now-
$1 trillion.
Oh
Now,
my god.
But now take this in account, because when I started looking at Thanksgiving gets lumped in a lot with Christmas.
Okay.
So some of it is overlapping between Black Friday.
I'll give it a 30-70 split. 30 on Thanksgiving, 70 on Christmas.
Still.
Easter.
$1 trillion. Boy.
Easter. 20.8 billion.
20 bill?
Yep. Almost 21.
Easter.
Valentine's Day.
Oh god.
Oh,
100 bill.
jewelry, flowers, chocolate, restaurants, nice rides. Yeah, no. That's a fat number.
There was a couple of them I was really surprised that they came in on way lower than I thought. Valentine's Day, 23.9.
Okay.
St. Patty's Day.
Miller bill. Sorry.
St. Patty's Day, 5.87. I really thought that number would have been much higher
Are those billion
for
or
the
million?
alcohol. Billion. These are all billions.
Oh, you didn't say that before, so I didn't know if it was like it went from billion to million.
No,
I was
no.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
These are all billions. I had to go back and look at it again because I'm like, billion? Yeah. No, these are all billions. So I kind of thought St. Patty's Day would be higher, just strictly because of booze.
I thought it would be lower than what it is.
Really? You thought?
Yeah, I mean,
Take into consideration, there's cities that dye whole rivers green.
well, yeah.
But
Bars.
is them dyeing the river green part of them trying to get people to? I mean, yes, it's going to get people in the mood, but people aren't paying for them to do that, so to speak.
Okay.
But it was still a cost.
We're gonna move on.
I'm just.
No, this is earned money. This is straight up earned money.
Oh wow.
Mother's Day, 31.7 bill. Father's Day, 20 bill.
Yeah, that's about right.
4th of July, 51.9. I kind of thought that was another one
I thought
would
be a
higher.
little bit higher, yeah.
Halloween, 10.6. I really thought that
Wow.
was going to be a lot higher.
Yeah.
Still,
That's surprising. I mean,
10.6 billion.
That's a lot of
yeah,
dollars.
we're talking about
God.
billions. yeah.
Talking about
Hold-
costumes and candy.
Thinking
Yeah.
about how you said that was 2022
2022.
Halloween. That's a lot of social interaction. You got to go up to people's doors.
And again, I did not look beyond 20.
Oh.
I didn't look
what I'm saying,
pre-COVID numbers.
Look at just
Not
for
even
specifically
pre-COVID.
Halloween. Look at the trend of Halloween in the last 10 years. It's significantly come down.
People are more introverted and awkward these days.
Maybe.
So that-
and
that one
maybe
kinda
that's
makes
a
some
whole nother
sense.
topic all on its own.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving came in at 5.2, but and I'm gonna bring
Right.
it back to the Christmas. I feel like a lot of Thanksgiving gets tied into Christmas because the holidays are so close together. I didn't even touch on all the Hallmark holidays. I just kind of touched some of the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, so the billboards driving down the hallways, the commercial or highways, commercials on the TV, everywhere we look, news articles online, social media, every platform. We are a consumer world. I really don't see how this is something we can dial it back. And then that kind of got me thinking, is this really a fucking conspiracy? Because here's where my thoughts went. Without it, bring it back up. How many of us would have fucking jobs? None of us would be in the career paths we are in as strongly as we are if it was not a consumer-driven society.
Shit, we
It's true.
probably would not be here right now. This
Fair.
this housing development
Fair.
may have not been here.
Yeah.
Fucking
true.
Augusta could have not been here.
So I'm going to
True.
throw some questions at you guys.
That's out there, but
First question.
Augusta would be here, but
First question.
yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
Is there a way to decrease the consumerism in today's United States
Yeah.
market?
No,
Yeah. I say yes.
No.
It's a personal choice, but yes.
that's where I was going. You're gonna have to try and convince over 300 million people to stop buying shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
To the everyday man, yes, you can change. To the big corporation of U.S., fuck no,
Okay.
not in a million years.
So say we do make a significant decrease in consumerism in the United States. How would it affect each of our lives?
It would break the economy.
That's not what I asked.
I think it's still technically an answer, but it would make us very poor. It would make us extremely poor. We would be destitute.
Middle class, 100%.
Yeah.
We'd be on the wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah, we'd be on 8 Mile.
Yeah.
So, have we become conditioned or evolved to a society to have the stuff? Like, have we become conditioned, or is this an evolution?
Conditioned.
Do you think it's been a condition to become a needs-based society, not an evolution? What do you think?
And I think there's one device in particular that had the breaking hand in all of it.
What is
The
that?
computer.
The television.
You think so?
But you could argue the radio.
Think of,
I mean,
okay,
radio
yes.
Advertising was huge on radio.
Right, but the radio is strictly audio. So
Yeah.
the ad might come on, oh, well, we've got, the visual's not there, so you can't exactly see it.
But that was
right?
the jingle.
Right, that's where the jingle got you. The jingle was nice, but I'm saying when the television came out, even in black and white, you got to see that toaster. You
Well,
got
I-
to see
that
that
was-
refrigerator.
That was the toys in the cereal box at that point in time.
right.
The
But I'm-
decoder rings. But, I mean, the decoder rings were pre-TV. That was radio, because then if you had the decoder ring, you could listen to the secret message.
Yeah, but where's so you were talking about the advertisement signs on the side of the road and, you know, on billboards and all that. If the TV hadn't been invented, where would be the one safe place you wouldn't have to worry about ads?
Your home.
So if you're
You turned off your
so
phone.
if-
But it's still safe here if we turn off the radio and the TV.
but what I'm saying is,
You sure?
what if
Turn
the
off your
TV?
phone.
What if the TV
And
was?
the phone, yeah. Yeah.
What if the TV became neatly invented because they wanted to put ads in your house?
Okay. So you're saying we didn't evolve to a needs desire-based society. We were conditioned. What do you
Yep.
think? Desire? Do you think we were conditioned or we evolved to
I think we were.
naturally?
I think we were conditioned.
I agree. Going with condition, just going back to what I said. I came back from war with all of this money in my bank, to a new America, and there are pretty things that are going to make my life easier, and it just progressively got worse.
I think
Yeah.
it was inevitable. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was conditioning or evolution. In my mind, I'm really kind of torn on that aspect, but I think it was inevitable. As Jonathan said, this happened well before the 20s. It happened well
Yeah.
before the wars.
Yeah.
This started, the footprint started.
It was definitely inevitable, but I think it also could have been mitigated.
And I agree wholeheartedly with that. Okay. So my next question is, if we were to revert to a needs-based driven society, what would the world look like? What would our daily life look like if we were a needs-based driven society versus a desire?
Less technology
based.
off bat.
So,
Yeah.
there was a movie that I think I've told everybody here that they should watch, The Lost City of Z. It's got Buddy from Sons of Anarchy in it, same guy from that King Arthur.
Oh,
Anyway,
yeah, Charlie Punnam.
British guy that
yeah, the
has
British
such
guy
a
with the
great
blonde hair,
American
slick
accent.
back, you know,
Charlie
that guy.
Punnam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked him better, way better. In
The pretty
King
bad
Arthur.
guy, the
Yeah.
pretty bad boy. That's what everybody was calling him back in the day.
He was
Anyways,
a good guy in King Arthur.
so in this movie, it's set around. We got to know where everything's at. So I think it was like late 18, early 1900s is where the movie takes place. Well, homie's going down to South America to try and map out the thing,
Yeah.
map out the stuff because there's conflicts of who's mapping what, border lines. It's a whole dispute. Kind of
Yeah.
like referencing it back to when we talked about the Toledo War. It was
Yeah.
a whole big thing. Nobody could agree on anything, so they had to have outside people come in and do it.
Okay.
A big bickering argument.
Right. So while he's there mapping it, homie realizes there's other stuff out here. He's finding tribes. He's finding pots. Like, there's a whole thing back there. Well, at a point in the movie, he finds a tribe, and they, per their custom, he's a guest. We must feed our guests.
Yeah.
So they go and, we're going to eat. They go to the river, right? Dude starts smashing up something in this little spot, right? In a leaf. Walks into the river, drops this substance in the water. It's like a liquid, right? And it's like a paralytic almost. And it's paralyzing the fish in the water. Here's the rub.
Okay.
The guy only grabs the amount of fish for the guests. 1 fish per guest.
But he paralyzed way more?
Hold on. Yeah, he did paralyze way more.
Okay.
It did happen. But after a short period of time, the fish gained mobility back and went off just fine.
Oh, that's dope.
Oh, so paralyzed him just long enough for him to get his take.
Yeah, so it paralyzed him just long enough that they would stop and rise so he could grab what he needed, and then shortly after that, they would just swim back off because it wore off.
Oh, nice.
So, as far as a needs-based society, that would make sense to me.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we can have a fish farm. That doesn't mean I got to slaughter half the tank to feed the people. No. Just how many fish you want today. We
Yeah.
don't think if we were to dial it back, you know how much more beautiful the world would be right now?
Oh, it'd be gorgeous, man. It'd be super gorgeous. I mean, that's kind of like the Walmart parking lots that you can see from space,
Yeah,
that hurts my
is
soul.
crazy.
That's fucked up.
Oh, that hurts my soul so bad.
Yeah, but it's like if we had a needs-based society, the Earth would be more beautiful.
But so like in another version, cattle farms.
Yeah.
They send hundreds of cattle off to get slaughtered and turned into meat for everybody to eat.
Yep.
How much of that gets thrown away or wasted?
I don't know, actually. I really don't.
So what if honestly, the whole idea of money kind of fucked everything up if I'm really thinking about it.
But money's inevitable. The more you look into it,
Money was inevitable, but money
did
is
fuck shit
quite
up.
literally
Yeah.
the root of all the bullshit.
Yep. Yep, but it was
We'd
going
be
to
able
happen
to
no
see the
matter what.
Milky Way, though.
What's that?
We'd be able to see the Milky Way. Just to bring
With-
it back to Alan.
I think, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Okay.
The world would be less developed. There'd be
Oh,
less
okay.
life
Oh,
foods.
yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that went over my head for some reason.
Sorry.
But I don't know. I think, would it be hard? Yes, absolutely. To dial it back where we're at now, oh, unequivocally, it'd be one of the greatest struggles we ever did. Could it be done?
Theoretically.
I think so.
Theoretically.
So, my next little question I'm going to throw at you. did we become a consumer society because we're now surviving or we're thriving versus surviving? Because we are plentiful versus hunter-gatherer, and not even go hunter-gatherer, but even post-hunter-gatherer, like people were surviving. That's it.
Yeah.
Modern medicine came along, all these advances in technology came along, made life easier, so we were now we're less surviving and we're thriving.
Yeah.
So you think
Oh, you think like would we have
industry-
become consumers because we're thriving?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's pretty possible. I mean, there's the idea that like if everyone is able to thrive, then they would be able to focus on like personal arts and like music, physical art, stuff like that. But I think it's still over time would have developed into like somebody would have like made something out of metal and they would have been like, "Wow, that's really cool."
So, I
and
mean,
then,
that
it
kinda
would have
goes-
just started there.
Right, this kind of goes back to my inevitability. Like, this was going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's just no matter which way we spin it or how we flip it or whatever the hypothetical
As long as
is.
we kept progressing.
And it
was
kind of
gonna
goes
happen.
to what Jonathan said a second ago. It really just started with that one interaction where instead of it was you and I scratching our backs because we did something for each other,
Yeah.
you did something for me, and instead of me scratching your back this time, I gave you a silver fucking coin in your hand.
Yeah.
You said,
could-
"What the
you could
hell
take
do I
that
do
coin-
with this?"
Yeah.
To him, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So, do we think this is going to plateau, or will there always be the next cool thing? The next,
There's always going to be the next cool
what
thing.
would you call Air Forces? Because they're not Jordans anymore, right?
Yeah.
They're Air Forces.
So on
Air
that,
Forces are the new thing.
this is where I think we're getting ready to repeat some things. I saw someone posted something on social media, and they were basically going about everybody's got a cell phone. Wouldn't it be nice if a house could just have a phone that stayed in
Oh,
the
yeah.
house?
Oh my God!
And
Don't
I'm
even
sitting
go
there, and I'm looking at what they're saying, and I'm like,
We literally just had that.
we had that. I knew how to use that.
Going back
I
to
knew how to
the-
use the rotary version of that. What do you mean you don't know what this is? And that's when I realized I was 30.
Going back to the thing we talked about, I think it was like last week, where freighter ships are wanting to put sails
Sails,
back
yeah.
on their ships now.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Yeah.
where was the silver lining where we had exactly what we needed and we could survive / thrive, and then what was the keel?
We could
over?
have that little bit of excess, but
Yeah.
not without being excessively excess.
Mhm.
All right. Next little question I'm going to throw at you guys. Did the shift in advertising in the 20s cause consumerism, or did consumerism cause the shift in advertising? Is this a chicken and the egg?
Well, going based off of just what you had said in the research you had done, I would say that advertising caused consumerism with those guys that were like, we want them to have desires more than needs, and
If I had to place it as a cause and effect, I'd say the cause was advertisement and the effect was us buying living crap out of everything.
We had the crumbs.
But based on your
Right.
research,
But here's
consumerism came first.
right. But the way I see it when it came to advertising, they were putting it in your face.
Oh yeah, they were pushing the shit out of
right.
it. Yeah.
Before advertisement, you had to walk down the street and see it at the store.
Yep.
To go, oh hey, you know what? I might want that.
Which means you had to be going slow enough by it to appreciate it being there.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, what I kind of picked up on like all of our research is kind of like it all started with consumerism, with Jonathan's point where it's like I went and got bread because I needed bread and you gave me potatoes and that's what we got.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 20s it was like I got a plate because I need to eat, right?
My
I
next
got a
question
plate
is
of
gonna-
food because I need to eat. We got back to my point after World War II. I'm gonna buy 2 plates of food because
I got
it's
it.
$2 and I got that.
yeah, because it's $2 and I got that.
Yeah,
So my next question
With
is going to
steady advertisement throughout that whole time period,
Yep.
that progressively got better for corporations,
or worse for
but
the
worse
person.
for consumers.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about my next question because it's going to fuck you up because how many days ago did I print this out? What, last
I don't know.
last week sometime.
A week ago.
Probably.
Okay, 5 days.
What if the Great Depression or World War II didn't happen? Would we be further down the consumer rabbit hole or more down, or we would still be more needs-based driven?
I think this goes back to the other point. It was going to be inevitable either way.
I agree.
I
But
think-
where would we be in 2023 if the Great Depression and the World Wars did not happen?
I think we would be much more needs-based than we would be consumer-based.
So I thought about this a lot. I really feel like if the Great Depression, the World Wars did not happen, I think 2023 would look a lot like the 50s and 60s. As far
You
as
think our
Oh.
progression would have been slower?
Yeah.
yeah.
We would have still probably got to where we are.
Oh,
It just would've been
absolutely.
slow.
It was inevitable, but I think the Great Depression and the World Wars really just pushed that
They
because
expedited the process.
we weren't
We capitalized.
we weren't a there was nothing that was mass production prior to the World Wars.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, and this is a really bad way to say it, but in a basic version, it's kind of what it is. At a point, the United States was kind of put in a position to kind of capitalize on it
Yeah,
because
Well-
everything was happening.
we put ourselves in that position.
Well, yes,
Yes
but
and no. Like the other countries were also coming to us like, hey man, you're not a part of this. You're just hanging out. Can you help us out a little bit?
Because,
Right.
But we put ourselves in that position of power to be that.
Well, we chose. From what I understand, on paper, we chose not to be a part of the war because the president at the time was like, yo, America's not it right now. We need to work on ourselves. And through the process of us working on ourselves, these other countries were like, yo, America's it. Let's get them to help us out.
And what I had to go with that was you're saying if the Depression and the Great Wars didn't happen, that's assuming we were doing okay come turn of the century.
I mean, saying the World Wars and the Great Depression didn't happen, we were doing okay. We were on a steady path of okay.
I mean, we was on some Gatsby shit.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if they, like you said, if they wouldn't have hit, I don't think it would have put the United States in the position to be where we've gotten now. 'Cause what I'm saying by that is, they were fighting a war, right? We were back here working on ourselves. Okay. Hey, bro, you got that factory right there that ain't doing nothing. I need guns. I just need you to make the barrels. I've got everything else. I just need a barrel. I need you to spin some steel, give me a barrel. That's all I need. Well, we don't want to get involved. I'll pay you. Well, let me see if I can get this factory up and running if you're going to pay and
Yeah.
see if we get all of a sudden, oh, I can make money and buy food for my family because it's the Depression? Oh, yeah, I'll go make a fucking barrel.
Yeah.
Right.
So then come to World War II, where it got a little personal. And by a little, it got a lot personal. You know,
Yeah. Just,
where
just a little.
80-90% of the men in the United States were, oh, get on the boat, you're gone, you're going. Like they touched us, you're going. And then that left the women, which this is where I will agree with feminists. Women can do anything that a man can do because
Almost.
you did it. You know, you got the factories running, you built the tanks, you built the guns.
We can keep society alive, but it takes both sexes to make it thrive.
Well, what I'm saying is, if it wasn't for those two instances, because yes, at a point, World War II, we weren't doing anything. We wanted to stay out of it because it wasn't
we
our
stayed
part
out
of the
it
world.
till we got touched.
Yeah.
Right. But what were we doing right before we got touched?
Oh,
we were still sending tanks
Yeah,
and
we were
guns
sending,
and
we were sending
planes and-
units out.
Yeah.
And we were even telling our people, we're not going to get, the United States government's not going to get involved. However, if you want to volunteer for their military, we can't stop you.
Yeah. And then also,
Slowly-
I mean, the big corporations are going to do what they're going to do to make their money.
Right.
And if that meant helping the war effort, then that's what they're going to
That's
do.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We profited from that war
Yeah.
because we were so well removed.
War
we had the
bonds.
opportunity to pump units out to sell to everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm loving what
That's
you
where I
guys,
think it was that double-edged sword like you keep talking about.
I know, and I'm loving what you guys are saying. So I'm gonna kind of lead into the next, and literally, I mean, as my brain was going way faster than my fingers could type, because at this point I wasn't writing shit down. I was just fucking typing because this shit was flowing like a volcano from my ADHD brain. So, how do we find a happy medium? Can we find a happy medium between consumerism and needs based?
From where we're at now.
Yeah, can we find a happy medium? Can we step back and find that happy medium, or can we stop the desire based and revert to a little bit of more needs based? Is there a happy medium at this point in time?
There could be, but honestly, I feel like the average American is too brainwashed.
So I never see consumerism going anywhere. I never see it leaving.
Yeah.
Right? So
we can mediate it, though, I think.
mitigate it, right? So, but where do we find the balance between wants and desires? How do we strike a balance? Because I'm here to tell you, I know I'm out of balance. Now that I'm in my 40s, I feel like my balance is coming back to more needs based than desire based. I think that's come with age and wisdom and the hundreds of thousands of dollars I know I've spent in my lifetime on desires versus how much money I could have if I just pocketed that money.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
instead of being like, oh, I want this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm less now with, I need to have the best, nicest thing so I can show everybody that I can have the best, nicest thing, the newest thing, versus I give a fuck about the next. My shit still works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean,
yeah.
I think that's a turn I've made in my life, whereas generations before me, they're like, duh.
Well, they were, but they also weren't.
Right. Now, and you're right, because they were buying an oven a year and a refrigerator a year and a car a year.
We're talking about the people that would reuse tea bags but throw away their perfectly fine refrigerator because the new one just came out.
Yeah.
I had to Google some. I had to fact check you on the amount you probably have spent. You've definitely spent more than you think.
I was trying to be nice, and I just threw that number off the top of my head today. Did not type that number in.
So I just pulled up something quick and easy as far as how much money people spend on a single person in lieu of raising a child. The average cost for raising a single child.
Oh, shit. I ain't talking about children. I'm talking about myself.
What I'm saying, you had to raise them. You had to spend that money.
Yeah, I spoiled the shit out of them every opportunity I can.
Not the point what I'm getting to. I'm saying as an example of how much we have to spend just to support one person versus an adult who has the option, if they don't have children, to buy whatever they want. Right? You raise 3 children. Or raising 3 children. One of the 2 brackets. I don't know. Anyways. The average child costs about $200,000 to $450,000 in their lifetime.
Yeah.
So by the time Abigail has graduated, you'll have put possibly
$500,000.
No.
Close to $500,000 on her.
If we middle bracket, we say 300 per, you're at almost $1 million.
Yeah.
In your 3 kids. Talk about an investment.
Yeah, but they're worth it. They're worth it. So I'm gonna carry on.
You got it.
So, can a small group of people affect a large group mentality?
Yes.
If, say, 100 people or 100,000 people start showing a balance between needs-based and desires-based that lean less desires-based, more needs-based, can 100,000 people affect 1 million?
Yeah. We would have to take the same psychology that the advertisers used and make the mass majority of people think that they want what the 100,000 balanced people have. That's how it would work.
So it's
You have to create status
use the
around
same
being
psychology
balanced.
and the same advertising.
I desire the want to only want my needs,
Yeah.
Ooh.
not my desires.
Yeah.
So basically, the way because this is about as far as back as I think we could take it, right? Based off of where we're at people wise.
Nobody's gonna want to give up anything they have now.
Right.
So let's just be real about that.
Right. Oh yeah.
This is the convincing that I see would have to play, and I think I might have a way to do it, but it's kind of right. You would basically be asking people to try and revert their needs back to, and I'm not saying specifically, but kind of like the Amish.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, yeah.
Like if you're talking about a small group getting if you wanted to flip it and get us back on the right track, that Amish is probably about as far as back time wise we could take it nowadays,
Although-
and that's pushing it.
They're kind of going more towards our kind of society.
And that's what-
now.
that's what I'm
I'll say
saying,
that
that's kinda pushing
the
it.
Amish are starting to mess with electricity. They're getting like normal people jobs. They're shopping at normal people
Yeah.
stores.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not classify them as abnormal.
No, they're not abnormal, but
They live alternate lifestyles.
yes.
It's not abnormal. That's their normal
Yeah.
versus our normal.
Right.
So
Right.
let's just be clear about that. Their normal and our normal are two different things. Does not make one any less normal than the other.
If in the case a Amish listener is listening,
Somehow.
sorry.
Okay.
Somehow,
I was
sorry.
not. I didn't even
Okay,
think about
first
that
off-
shit. I was
First
just trying to
off, if
say,
you're
like,
our first
everybody's.
Amish listener, I already have questions for you, but I will wait till I can have you as a guest to ask you those questions.
'Cause, I
Low
mean,
key, kind of applaud you for the shit.
No
but
cap.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess where I was going, everybody has a different level of normal. In my normal and the next person's normal are probably two different things. Like our household normal is different than my parents' household normal, right?
Yeah.
Versus that neighbor or that neighbor's,
Right.
you know, to the left and to the right. Okay. So, how many people do you think would sacrifice? How many people do you think sacrifice needs to fill the desire?
Too many.
Too many.
Oh, I know.
Way too
Probably
many.
the majority.
Too
Yeah.
many,
Unfortunately.
You think so?
Probably.
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're buying a $80,000 car, but living in a house
would-
that has holes in the roof.
Yeah,
I would
yeah. Oh,
easily.
yeah.
They may not have
say-
running water.
I would
Yeah.
say at least
I-
3/4 of people.
So they're literally sacrificing basic human needs to fill a desire.
I saw it every day growing up in California.
Yeah.
I'm not even. I literally watched this happen. Dude pulls up at the time, brand new Escalade, 26-inch wheels on it, I think, rubber band tires. I mean, it was a nice.
10 grand a wheel and suspension, let alone the vehicle. The
Right.
$60,000.
So you're talking
vehicle,
easily at the time $80,000 car, right?
which at the time was astronomical.
big boy money.
The
More
guy
like
gets out of the
200,000
driver's
these
seat.
days.
I mean, jeans with the crease in it. He's got the nice shirt on, nice shades, nice hat, gold chain, the whole bit. This is where I almost lost it. His kids got out, old gym shorts, dirty old white beat up T-shirt,
Shoes, two sizes
shoes
too small.
too small, old tearing
Holes
up.
in them.
And then the mom got out, nice dress, jewelry, hair done, nails done, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Something don't add
The
up here.
parents looking good, but the kids looking like trash.
Right.
It should be the other way around.
Mhm.
Should absolutely be the other way around.
Right.
And so this is I'm gonna keep it to this experience specifically, but what kicked me in the gut is when he come up to me, he asked me, "You got used tires?"
Damn near got $100 grand in his truck. Probably wearing about a $500 outfit. His wife's probably wearing about a $500 outfit.
if I had to
Got
guess a price
$30
range,
worth of
if I had to
shit.
guess a price range on what they pulled up with, they easily had $130,000 among jewelry, car, and everything on them, and he wants to buy a used 26-inch low-profile tire.
That's already unsafe to start with, that his family's rolling around in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay, so that answered that freaking question. So
That's tragic.
here,
I hope she was making empanadas that night.
Not for the kids, apparently.
Guess
It's
not.
For Dad and her. The kids get ice soup for dinner.
I'm not going to touch that one. I'm going to leave that one alone. So here's the thing. The more I dug into this topic, I really started out with this being a conspiracy. that
This
have.
shit ain't no conspiracy.
It's
No.
not a conspiracy.
No.
It's not.
Society. I think society drove this much as corporations drove it.
Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
already, I
Yeah.
already kind of knew when we were going into this. I was like, this isn't a conspiracy. And 5 minutes into my research, I'm sitting there going,
I
who
wanted
thinks
this.
this is a
I
conspiracy?
wanted this to be a conspiracy. I really did.
So
Because I wanted people to be better than that. But
No.
we're not.
Unfortunately, no.
We're not.
So when we brought up this subject, I was a little hesitant on it because when we were talking about it, the only thing I could think of was current times, and I already knew that's going to be a little dark. I really don't.
No, but I think that's why it's good because it's controversial.
Right. But that for me, that's why I kind of went.
A little off.
I went back in time a
I
little
got
bit.
you,
I wanted
yeah.
to. I didn't want to.
I see.
I didn't want to look
You
at.
didn't want to touch modern times as much as you,
Well,
as
because
needed.
I knew if I did, I was gonna find all that real nasty.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh,
what.
it's nasty. It's
and-
ugly. It's dirty.
But to a point, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
And yes,
And,
and
like-
that goes back to our utopia dystopia type thing. Yeah, I mean, and how many times have I said it? I said it the other night. Our bubble is good. And if that's why I stopped watching the fucking news, because ignorance in my mind is bliss. It's not touching
The news
this
is another
household.
form of advertisement now.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
But
It's not news anymore.
I mean, if it does not touch and affect this household and the people I love and cherish, in my mind, we're good. And I tell people all the time, how are you doing? Is shit hard day to day? Yeah, sometimes it really fucking is. My life's fucking good. I have
be
a
fucking worse.
Yeah.
Huh?
Could be worse.
Oh, absolutely. It could
be
always be
worse.
worse. I have a roof over my head. My bills are paid. I have 3 children that more or less are happy. I have children that are not biologically mine, but they are my fucking kids that are more or less happy, safe, and healthy. Right?
Mhm.
There's nothing. Do we want more? Abso-fucking-lutely.
yeah.
Do we need anything?
Technically, no.
We have everything we need and then some. So our life is fucking good.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I need.
What you need, bro?
I need a tent. I need a horse, a 4570, and mountain to mountain land that nobody can get to. Leave
Okay,
me
well,
the hell
that's
alone.
asking a fucking lot in this day and age, Holmes.
Well, one day.
When we revert back, because we done fucked shit up so bad, yeah. But I mean, that's kind of where this research led me. Like, there's no fixing it. I think we
Yeah.
can kind of course correct to a degree.
We're already too far gone. And then, like we were saying before, it's inevitable anyway.
We're not going to go
Well-
backwards. We're not going to halt. We're not going to halt advancement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way we can halt progression. at
Right.
all.
We're not going to
Yeah.
halt that. People are never going to give up what they already have.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Right. So, like, I'm accustomed to paying $1,000 a month for this much luxury. I'm not speaking specifically. I'm just throwing fucking round number out there.
Mhm.
So I'm already accommodating this $1,000 of my monthly income to this specific luxury. I know I'm spending that every month. Am I going to give up $700 of the luxury to have that $700 extra to spend on need?
I think I kind of have an idea of what would have to happen in order to kind of maybe balance it back out.
We need to have a really big solar flare that wipes out all the satellites.
I was trying not to be.
Doomsday? Was
Doomsday,
that was
yeah.
that too doomsday?
That was a little doomsday. That was a
Okay.
little doomsday. I was
Sorry.
trying not to do that. For me, the only way to get back to where it could be needs based, if we were to stay here, numbers got to come down.
What numbers?
Everything.
Population.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah, what I go ahead.
So to combat that, because hopefully nobody's out there going to order a mass, just start killing people in the streets because I got too many.
We are not
I
condoning
hope-
that in any way, shape, or form on this podcast at all.
Well, I'm saying I
Speak for
hope that
yourself.
never happens. But
I said, speak for yourself.
God
I
damn.
hope that never happens. So if, in lieu of that, in order to sort of, so to speak, fix it, we would have to expand the territory.
To Mars to terraform.
Honestly,
I know what Jonathan's gonna say.
realistically, it would start with the moon.
Oh,
I said that, and you looked at me like I was a fucking asshole when I said that
No.
I
shit.
thought you were gonna say Mexico.
No.
Oh,
So, as a whole, right now,
he's been talking about if the U.S. absorbed Mexico and how it would go. He's been telling me about it.
it's a theory that I have. I'm still working
Right,
on it,
yeah.
but we won't
That's
get
a
into
whole
that
other
right now.
topic.
Sorry.
So,
We got like
man.
we
Sorry.
got, we got like
Sorry.
8, 9 fucking
Turning over
topics
my
off
coals,
this
bruh.
episode.
Telling you.
Yeah.
but so the way it would have to happen is, first off, we'd have to get back to the moon, which, from what we understand, we haven't been to in
50 years
Plus.
at least. Yeah,
Only went once.
60 something.
No,
No,
we went a
we
few.
went-
no, we went
we
a few
went more
times.
than once.
Yeah, we went a few times, but then we stopped.
But
We would have to get there.
to hear some folks say it, we never went at all.
Well, look, I'm not. We're not. I'm not. No, I'm not.
Another
doing all that
topic
tonight.
for
I'm
another
not
day.
doing that tonight.
That's actually
It's a topic RC.
I was
Yeah.
gonna throw RC out there, but I don't know RC personally. I only know him by
Actually,
name.
Yeah, RC
But
gave
you
us the idea.
specifically mentioned that
Yeah.
RC said the moon landing was fake.
yeah. He's like, y'all should
Every
do that.
time we went to the moon, it was not real.
Yep. He's like, y'all should look
this-
into that.
The tidbit of information he gave us was the green screen and cables on the suits and shit like that.
Shout out to RC,
Yeah.
who
Well-
is hopefully fucking listening.
Probably, and we'll probably get to that point. I'm sure either me or Austin at some point. Will
One
be
of the
like,
fellas is going to do the research. I'm not doing that research because I
That's
don't
fair.
buy into it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, to bring it back,
Yeah.
and to bring up a topic that I talked about a while back, the terraforming.
Yeah.
The way I think it would have to work is we'd have to set up some kind of situation, and the reason I say the moon is because it's the only thing close enough to us to where if something I know. When I was talking about the subject, I had statistics on Mars. I didn't have nothing on the moon. So I couldn't talk about the moon in confidence and give people the right answers.
That's
fuck
fair.
you and fuck your statistics. My logical mind said the moon was easier than
Hold on,
fucking
hold on.
Mars.
I didn't say it was easier.
My boy is.
I didn't say it was
he's-
easier.
He's back facting.
I know, and
So-
I appreciate the fact that he's doing it, but damn it, I said it.
I didn't say it would be easier. It'd be faster to respond.
I think it's easier to put like dome homes on the moon
Right.
than it would be on Mars.
So the moon has no atmosphere whatsoever, so you have to make a pressure habitat. Let's say an incident were to happen, it starts to crack because of something you didn't foresee. Okay, you shut that area down, now everybody's moved over here. Well, now, by section, it's failing. We have a greater chance of getting there from here and saving them than we would if we sent them to Mars.
I'm just gonna throw back to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like, if we have the technology to do that shit, we have the technology to fix this shit.
We have the technology to fix it. The problem is the population on Earth is never going to stop growing.
Yeah.
I mean, I really feel like nature's gonna find a solution for that.
And it might.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Because like.
The problem is, when that happens, are we still going to be around after the fact to...
So
in very small amounts.
So what
And-
I'm saying is, if we were to continue as a species and to combat this
Here's a-
consumerism, we've got to push the boundaries because we know what's on the moon, but we don't know what's on the moon. We know what's on Mars, but we don't know what's on Mars. If we can make it to Mars, and this is my point, if we can make it to Mars and actually get that habitat set up in the next 500 years, if we haven't killed ourselves with overpopulation by then, which we probably will.
yeah.
500 years?
Oh, easily.
You're thinking less.
I was thinking a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
But so if we could make it to Mars, we have the technology for space travel. We have the technology for habitable space. What's right next to Mars?
Jupiter.
No,
Oh, it's not right
I'm not
next
talking
to
about
Mars.
planets.
You're talking about another moon.
No, the asteroid belt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The asteroid belt is not next to Mars.
It's
It's in between the moon and Mars.
It has been
No,
it's
wait,
past
what?
Pluto.
No, there's two asteroid
There's two
belts.
asteroid
Oh,
belts.
okay. Then
Yeah.
I'm an idiot. But I got a whole nother pin to pull.
But what I'm saying is, if we could make it to Mars and could start harvesting asteroids,
Yeah.
that's all natural resources that would start bringing everything back down.
Oh.
Once we started setting up the line between the moon and Mars back to Earth.
I see.
Kind of like what we did with colonizing America, when we did that.
Yeah.
But to a point where we have access to more resources.
Yeah.
So you're straight up projecting Earth's population growth based on the population growth in the past 70 years? Earth's population is declining. Fertility statistics are on a rapid decline.
Thank God.
But the people haven't died yet, is
No,
the thing.
that's not. Yes, you're right. But these people are going to die. I'm going to die.
Mm-hmm.
Here,
Your
Well, I mean-
your generation and then your kids, if you guys actually produce kids, fertility rates are on a super decline, both
Austin wants
male
to-
and female. Go ahead, go. 'cause
All I'm
he's
saying
busting.
is population's declining because these bitches saying they got dicks and motherfuckers with dicks saying that they're females. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
that's
So no, that is
I'm saying.
one. That is one thing, but
It contributes.
The natural born males' viable sperm count is on the decline.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Natural born females' viable eggs are on the decline.
Yep.
okay. I'll give you that.
Rapidly, big time. Not small numbers, very significant numbers.
Okay. That's fair. I'll give you that. But still, on average, how many children are born to a household? On average.
1.3.
Okay. 1.3. Low chance of having a second child as of right now, right?
Well, I mean, really, right now in today's day and age, it's probably 3.3. But I think
we'll
heading
use
towards-
1.3, right? Every 2 people are still going to make a person. This is the statistic I'm going to throw at you. That yes, we're declining. Medicine's on the rise.
We're not declining rapidly enough. I agree. And
It's
medicine,
projected that in the next 30 years we'll have medicine that will keep us alive to the age of 120.
I'm not invalidating what you're saying, but we're not. I think the projection rate you're seeing is a different projection rate than I'm seeing. You might be seeing 1 million. I'm seeing 250,000.
Yo, I'm gonna just throw out here real quick. Y'all have no idea how close she was just fucking throwing that number out.
1.3.
It's 1.9 children per household.
Oh wow.
I've literally
So,
read a
almost two
very
then.
phenomenal book about the collapse of global civilization. United States, Australia, we's alright. Rest of the world's kind of fucked.
So as of right now, per household on average, it doubles to two new households per children. 2 people get together, have 2 kids, that leads to 2 other households. Statistically. Obviously, our statistics are a little screwed because of current events.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to leave that alone.
And we are not mathematicians.
I'm not. But if I was to use those basic numbers with the fact that they're talking about medicine keeping us alive for an additional 30 years,
Okay, so you being alive longer does not make you procreational.
I'm not saying
Longer.
that. That's 30 more years that you've got to feed somebody. That's 30 more years you got to house somebody.
I mean, you don't really have to. Just saying.
Yeah.
If I become a burden, throw me off a fucking cliff, honestly. Drown me in the
technically, we
bathtub.
Okay. That's your opinion, right? How many people out there, grandma's 115, but she's seen a lot. We can't get rid of her.
yeah.
She's an important member of our family. She knows all the grandkids.
Grandma, look, you just got when I'm not productive, tell me to write that shit down. Just put a pillow over my head. Honestly, I don't want to be a burden. And I guarantee you there's probably more people that think the way I think than that don't. The megalomaniacs and the narcissists will
So
think,
I'm
"No,
sure the
keep me
people that have
around."
gotten to that age will think like that. I'm a burden. Take me out. It's the younger generation that don't want to see that. That's something they know. They don't want that to change. Now
well-
we have the medicine to keep you alive longer. I'm going to keep you around.
Gen Xers will find a
Yeah.
way.
And
to-
speaking of narcissists and megalomaniacs,
Yes.
they are more common these days.
I know.
There's more
Okay.
narcissists and stuff walking around.
So that was something I was gonna like touch on in a future thing.
The
I was
age
gonna,
of-
I was gonna kind of dig into that a little bit because is it because it's more diagnosed, or is it because there's more of them, like ADHD? ADHD always existed.
Right.
Always.
It was just never diagnosed.
It was
It was
never
always
diagnosed.
something else.
It may have been misdiagnosed initially.
Right. Yeah.
So, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not. I'm not going to call it a disability because I'm not going to look at it as a disability. But how many conditions that are not physical conditions have been around that are only now being diagnosed?
yeah. So with say
So is there really more of them, or are we just recognizing it?
with narcissism specifically, because I've read just a little bit about it, and I think it's partially that it wasn't as effectively diagnosed back in the day, but I think it's also the fact that there might just be more of them because of the way society is now.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
it's like, so I'll have to do some research
could
into
agree,
it.
I could agree with him to an extent.
Yeah.
I find narcissism being more common.
And-
I can probably find a person on the street that's a narcissist before I find someone that's
So,
truly just a pure person.
I'm going to go into something
Oh,
we're
yeah.
never going to touch on, which is the whole crime thing. Is that a nature or nurture trait?
Narcissism?
Yes.
Both.
Psychological.
I think it's both.
I feel like it's both.
It's psychological.
both.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I mean,
both
yes.
at that point.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's psychological, but is it a nature or nurture? Are you born that way, or were you raised that way, or is it a combination of the two? Did you have the right combination of genetics and upbringing to create? Is it like the
Are your wires crossed, or were you raised wrong?
so to me, it's like the primordial soup. You life evolved from the planet depending on. If you just go purely scientifically, we evolved from an amoeba, right? A single-celled organism, right? We were just
Yeah.
the perfect timing, the perfect temperature, the perfect ingredients to create life, right?
Yeah.
Is narcissism, sociopath, all of the
Are you missing a mineral or something
are all
like
the
that?
pathies? Are they just, and now that they are more prevalent, is that the perfect storm of all the right ingredients or wrong ingredients?
Or is that not enough ingredients?
No, I didn't think about that. I like
might
that.
have a controversial opinion on
Is
it,
it,
then.
lack of fresh produce and more preservative or
There's one article I have to look into, and I forget the author, but I believe they coined the term the age of the neurodivergent,
yes.
which is what they believe that we're in now. But this person thinks
Explain that to me real quick.
So neurodivergency, if I'm not mistaken, is a very interesting phenomenon to look into because neurodivergence isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right. Neurodivergence is a basically umbrella medical term for there's neurodivergent and then there's neurotypical. And
Okay.
neurotypical is what you would consider normal.
Okay.
Just for the sake of argument, like your more normal, average kind of stuff would be a neurotypical person.
You're a neurotypical
A
person.
neurodivergent person is someone who's off center, off normal, and so like narcissism, neurodivergent, ADHD, neurodivergent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Continue.
So basically, they're saying they coined the age of neurodivergency, and they were looking into it, and from what I had gathered from my very brief research, is they think it's a lot to do with like genetics and stuff like that. Like this stuff's just bound to happen. But it's also like the processed food. There's
That's
plastics all in our body, like microplastics all over the planet and everything.
because microplastics are in everything now.
They're in everything.
You can't eat anything, you can't drink anything without there being microplastics in it.
When recently when we went to Challenger's Deep, the bottom of the Marianas Trench, when we went there and we had the equipment and stuff to film it and see what we had down there, do you guys want to know what they found at the bottom of the Marianas
Trash.
Trench?
Microplastics, trash.
A plastic bag, a whole ass plastic bag.
Nice.
So this shit's everywhere.
So-
it's fucked.
Do
If
you
it can
wanna-
make it there, it
if-
can make it
It's
anywhere.
everywhere.
And if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken, the United States is not the biggest country in plastics in the ocean.
I don't know.
If now, again,
I know about the plastic island in the Pacific.
I would say
Yeah.
again, I have not done a whole lot of research into it. It's just been surface like shit. I've not researched it, so it's just shit that's been thrown at me. Which, like, you know, just because you read it on the internet doesn't make it true.
Right.
But if I'm not mistaken, it's like Indonesia.
Well, okay, so I figured you were going to say something like that. Indonesia might be one of those countries where the
Or
majority
is
of
that
their
where it ends up?
there's countries where they don't have any like global production, but because they're part of the global economy, they have to have money somehow. So there's countries that will get paid to take people's trash and waste and
see,
stuff.
and that's
and
so it's just where it ends up.
Yeah, Indonesia might be one of those countries.
And again, that's not
So
it's
even
something
though-
I haven't researched,
yeah.
but it's a very fascinating
Yeah.
topic to dig into.
If that's what it is, technically Indonesia is like one of the big ones, but it's still the U.S., UK, Canada. You know, it's all their trash. It's all
so
our trash.
I really feel like we need to see who's the mass producer in plastics.
It's probably the U.S.
You think the U.S. is the mass
If
producer
it's
in
not
plastics?
if it's not the U.S., it's China, or the EU, the EU countries.
it's going to be one of the big three.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
yeah,
America, China, or the UK.
Europe. Yeah. Well, the UK is like Britain. We'll just say the EU.
Europe. Okay, big Europe. Yeah.
We'll say EU.
EU. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Give me a drum roll, please. With 32% in counting, it is China.
Hey, that's not so surprising.
China attributes to 32%.
But that makes sense
of
because
plastic.
of the silicon technology.
Right. There's a lot of tech.
That
out
stands
of
to
China.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 2.
It's us with ExxonMobil.
Oh,
Shocker.
Exxon, man.
Yep,
Fucking Exxon.
So
Dang.
I have a thought.
See, petroleum is one of those things. So eventually, all those plastics are going to turn into fossil fuels again.
Yeah. What's your thought, Cruz?
So, okay, we were just talking about that our lifestyle has been changed, right?
Yeah.
Because of where we've developed as a society, right?
Man,
Yeah.
you've been brewing over there for a minute.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
been
no,
pull- you
yeah,
pulling
yeah,
off
no,
of that?
Yeah,
I
Damn,
love
son.
it.
I got
Boy
a deep.
been
I got a
boiling over there.
I fell far. I fell far.
It-
The
it-
tea bag
far.
steep
Look,
I fell
it
over
there, dude.
took him a minute,
Yeah.
but here he is.
All right.
Come
Let's
on,
hear it.
Give
pull
me
that
this
thread.
fine wine you about to pour.
Pull that
So-
thread.
As from what we've been talking about, there's a pattern in the last 400 years or so where our lifestyle has gone to more leisurely
Yes.
as opposed to hunter gatherer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, because of what we've learned in science and everything, we've now discovered this new phenomenon that we know of in the brain,
Neurodivergence.
neurodivergence. What if that's our next step in evolution? We've gotten to the point where we can sustain life. So now let's focus on the next step that we
Right.
need to get us further. So what if neurodivergent is the brain trying to figure out, do I need to be a narcissist to go further? Do I need ADHD to go further?
Right.
Do I need autism to go
Yeah.
further? Do I need what? All these
is being neurodivergent our first stepping stone?
And
in
what if
evolution?
those are
I
the
love that he's saying that because ever since I found out that Abigail, super ADHD, mild autism, like I've done so much research on it.
That girl is smarter than everybody in this.
Oh,
house.
I
dude, yeah.
really feel like that's our next level of evolution. But right now, she's shit on
but
Yeah.
what I'm
because
saying,
she's not normal. She's not the median.
She's not neurotypical. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But so what I'm saying is, what if the brain right now it's realizing, oh, I don't have to focus on going to find food every day. It's here. I don't have to worry about going to find water every day. It's here. I don't have to worry about finding shit.
But you're
now
always,
I can focus on other things. So now the brain is trying to, what's my next trait I need to pick up? And now it's expanding. It's trying different things all at the same time.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw a little wrench in that thought train
Okay.
because I do believe that those pathies, the neurodivergence, are going to be the next level of evolution. But that next level of evolution is always going to need the
equator.
the normal. They're always going to need the people that provide the water, provide the food, provide the shelter.
So this is where I was kind of getting to it until
Sorry.
No, you're good. The reason I said hunter-gatherer, right? It was a dual system adopted that humanity adopted a long time ago.
Oh, I
Because
think I
it
see where you're
worked.
going.
Yeah, because tribes were either hunters or gatherers.
I think
you
I
never
see where
really
he's
had
going.
a mix of both of them.
So what I'm getting at is
Until later
the
on.
hunters have now fought off all the predators.
So
Yeah.
now those are
Fought
the
off
neurodivergent.
enough of the harshness.
That's the
harshness in
neurodivergence.
nature.
Yeah.
Now it's time for the gatherers
to thrive.
to get to the next step.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
okay.
when we get there, then maybe it's the next step might be a whole nother planet where then the hunter has to come back in to adapt to that new thing to get us further down the road.
Okay, I was looking at a completely different.
I told you I
aspect.
went deep.
No, and
I told you I went deep.
I love it because like your thought spun a thought in my mind. So to equate it to hunter gatherer to neurodivergent to neuronormal,
Neurotypical.
Neurotypical, yeah.
neurotypical, is that the new hunter gatherer? Are like the neurodivergents the new hunters? And the neurotypicals are the new gatherers. So we're sustaining.
Oh,
so,
I see. Okay.
So are you
okay.
so therefore you're suggesting people that have ADHD, OCD,
Those are the new hunters.
BTB,
They're
all those D's and E's and epithes
and all
you know.
the alphabet soup of
Yeah,
it.
and
Okay.
an alphabet summa. Is that our new hunter, new
Yes,
divergence?
those are our new hunters expanding,
yes,
finding new.
learning to hunt new
Okay.
ground or a
and
new
maybe
mental
not
plane.
necessarily. Yes, okay, not necessarily meat.
Yeah.
Right? And then the neurotypicals are the gatherers that are sustaining the
Right.
norm.
Gathering the berries and the herbs and all that.
So-
That's already
Yeah.
plentiful.
Those are the ones that are providing the water, the shelter.
right.
Whereas the neurodivergents are the ones
They're the pioneers.
We're
Yeah, the
fucking
pioneer
going
of it.
fucking ESP,
because
telepathy and shit.
last 500 years,
Could be.
the hunters were our pioneers. They pushed the boundaries on land. They pushed the boundary. They pushed wild animals back out of cities so that way they was safe.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, here's the problem. We done did all that here. So yeah, that pioneer was great. He was what we needed. That was the guy in the going out to the woods that he never knew nothing about and coming back out. Oh, by the way, this lives here, this lives here, this lives here. We're not there anymore. We know all that.
Yeah.
The next step comes with our brain. We've got to figure
Yeah,
out
our mental-
how to
our
get
mental
to the
brain.
next place. We can't just
Right.
walk there. We can't just get on a boat and sail there. We've got to figure something out. Maybe genetically, as humanity, we're realizing that. And the brain is now, okay, what's that characteristic that we now need in our brain that's going to help us figure out that next step to
Right.
get us to the next step?
And
Right.
that's where these not atypical,
Neurodivergent.
neurodivergent, that's where that thought process comes into being.
And in a sense, I mean, I guess that, I mean, it kind of is true. What I always thought about when I was playing soccer, and really anyone that plays sports more than likely has ADD or ADHD. You're able to hyper focus on those small things all happening at once.
Right.
I can focus on my feet moving the ball while I'm moving downfield
And
watch
while
the other
three
players do
people
it.
are defending
Yeah.
and attacking me.
Yeah.
I can think about all of that individually.
Right.
All sports players can do that. So
Well, not
I can
all,
see, well,
but
not all, but
the ones that are successful.
yeah. So I can see where he's going with that, where that expansion of the brain. Where
I'm just
like,
I'll bring
us
it.
with ADD and OCD and stuff like
I'm gonna
that.
bring it even like simpler.
Okay.
So,
So you said OCD, right? What if
Organization.
that's the brain telling itself, yeah, I took a rock and I took a stick and I took some string and I tied it together. But that next step, I got to make sure the detail's there. I got to make sure when I swing it, it's not going to break.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone like you, Mike, not to point.
I'm pretty OCD about
Yeah,
shit.
you're pretty OCD
Yeah.
about stuff. So if I had to get down to details on like, hey, I need to make sure every bolt on this panel is torqued at this. Hey, Mike, I need you to make sure that every single bolt is torqued at.
Dude, torque spec.
Oh yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
Yeah, you would have it. You would make sure that every single one was where exactly it needed to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Whereas, like he said, someone with ADHD, they got to move. They got to move.
Yeah.
What's that person probably doing? Moving material faster, quicker, because they can do it. And they're probably singing while they're doing it because it's fun.
Efficiency.
Yeah.
So the thing that fascinates me about Wee One's mind is that she will approach a complex problem, not understanding that the problem is complex, but use the KISS method without even understanding. And her solution to and I'm not going to give any examples, but her solution to a complex problem will be so basic that you're like, damn. Like, I'm an overthinker to a T. I am diagnosed ADHD as an adult. I was diagnosed ADD as a child. But I never took any meds for it. I had to learn to regulate that, which is something that, yes, Abigail has taken meds. Yes, Abigail probably needs to go back on meds right now. But at the same time, with the meds aren't the solution. The meds are a method to help her understand control.
It's like for lack of a better term, it's like a crutch.
A little bit less than a crutch,
Right.
I think, but it's a
Your
crutch.
training wheels.
Training wheels.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's training
yeah,
wheels.
Yes.
That's the best way to put it.
It's,
I-
it's training
Perfect.
wheels.
Yeah.
Perfect. Because it teaches her how she needs to understand and look
Yeah. It teaches her the flow.
without losing what her mind
yeah.
does naturally, which is beautiful. It's literally the Russell Crowe beautiful mind.
Training wheels teach you how to keep balance and flow of movement.
Yeah.
Medication could help
I-
you understand flow and movement.
Ideally, it would.
Yes,
Ideally.
whereas there are many of the populace that use the medication as a crutch. They lean on that and they rely on that to function.
Right.
Whereas my thought process, and thankfully the pediatrician I found's thought process is, this isn't a long-term thing. This is just a thing for when the thing is actually needed to use Austin's terms, to maintain the balance.
Yeah.
So I think if more people took that approach on medication, as far as that goes, like, it's a way to become healthier.
I disagree with the medication.
I
Me personally.
I did.
Well,
I did until I had a child.
and so I'm not a parent, so I can't see it that way. But growing up and having to take the medication, for me, because I was diagnosed with, at the time, ADD.
Was it Ritalin?
No, I think the one that I remember was Strattera,
Okay.
which the reason I remember this, so that's what they were giving me to treat my ADD, which come to find out was actually ADHD, because ADHD hadn't been discovered when they told me I had ADD.
Oh, I see.
Which is why the
Or it
And
wasn't
before that,
working.
you was just a badass kid.
Yeah,
you
you
just
just
needed
were
your
a
ass
hellion that
beat.
couldn't be controlled, is what they looked at you like.
Yeah.
So I was riding that line,
And
right?
then before that, you was in the psych ward with the tuberculosis patients.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember taking that medication, and it was the lights are on, nobody's home. No, I felt like a ghost in my own
A
body.
zombie.
Yeah. Now, come to later in life, I moved to Georgia. They decided, we're not doing this medication shit. You look weird when you're on it, whatever. We're not doing it. Okay. It was my sophomore year when I stopped taking that medication, the end of my sophomore year. Never took it again. I turned 18. At the time, I wanted to join the Navy. When I went to sign up and they asked me about medications I had been on, I told them I used to take medication for ADD. What was it? As soon as I told them Stratera, they told me I wasn't eligible to enlist into the Navy.
Because that fucked up your
Damn.
neural pathways.
Damn.
It literally, so that was the whole thing. So, and thank God for my parents being the way my parents were. I was diagnosed ADD because ADHD wasn't a thing when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been diagnosed as an adult with ADHD.
Mm-hmm.
But my parents refused to put me on the medication, which was Ritalin. And
Ritallin's rough.
Ritallin's rough.
it fucks a lot of people up.
Yeah,
bad.
it's double off for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
So but that's what they used for ADD back in the day. And I thank the fact that my parents were that way because who knows, good Lord, as fucked up as I am already, Ritalin too? It would have been bad. But so I had to learn to adapt to the neurotypical
Yeah.
way of life. I had to learn how to fit in. I had to learn to overcome what I saw in myself. I still see in myself as a disability to be accepted, socially accepted.
Right.
Where, because you see how Abigail is sometimes. There are things that she does, like, so part of ADD, ADHD is lack of impulse control. She does shit she knows she's not supposed to do. She knows what she's doing is wrong. As a youngin', she knew she was going to get her ass beat. But she couldn't stop herself from doing it
Mm-hmm.
because of the condition. But at the same time, her mind is, like, finding, like, solving problems to, like, things the world doesn't even know is a problem yet. You know, but she doesn't have impulse control. So technically, socially awkward
Yeah.
in a way, which I totally relate. I'm a socially awkward human being. I do not do well for public consumption.
Yeah. What were you gonna
So-
say, Austin? Sorry to cut you off.
I was gonna pull another real good example that
Oh.
us knows fucking Key. Key used to
Oh,
take
I
20
hate
milligram
that.
Vyvances.
Oh yeah.
I
he used to be a zombie.
Yeah.
hated
As
it
soon
when
as
he
he
was
got
on
off
his
that
meds.
stuff,
As soon as he
man,
got off, he's
he was a normal person.
normal fucking person.
He seemed neurotypical when he wasn't on the stuff that was supposed to make him
But he was so
neurotypical.
zombified when
Yes.
he was.
Yes, he
Yeah.
took the medication, and like he said, lights on,
Nobody's
one
home.
home.
Yeah.
I knew
It
when
was
he
scary,
came.
dude.
I knew
Yeah,
when he
it's-
came here,
Yeah.
and he was
off
on his
medi-
meds.
Yeah.
I knew when he was on his meds
Yeah.
because he was not him.
It was honestly tragic to sit there and watch it and just like know like because you can
I could watch him come on the bus and know whether he took his medication or not that
Yeah,
morning.
and that's the thing. Like,
would
I
bring
didn't
me
see
down,
him as
yeah.
much as you guys did, but from when the times I saw him, I
Yeah.
knew when he was on his meds and I knew when he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he wasn't, he was a fucking human.
Yep.
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 So, you just said something.
Oh,
Yeah.
normally I say dumb shit.
It poked at something I just had just said, and it made me even more fucked up than I already was. We're talking about the possible change in the brain in the last 500 years.
Yeah.
What if it's been longer than that?
Oh, without a doubt.
What if the big strong guy, oh, you're small and weird and weak and you don't talk normal. I'm going to beat up on you.
Mm-hmm.
So how long through time did we kind of beat ourselves out of what I'm saying is if these are all the next steps of evolution, how long have we prolonged it
Oh, how long have
by the jocks beating up on
Okay.
the geese,
Right.
so to speak?
Yes and no. Because to a degree, I believe in Darwinism. Like, I don't know where I fall in evolutionary standards, but I do believe that there is a degree of Darwinism that exists.
Yeah.
Like, you can't dispute that fact, no
Yep.
matter where you think we came from.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Me personally, I don't know about the whole human evolution thing. Hella
What-
theories
right.
on that.
I'm not
but
speaking.
Darwinism, yes.
I'm not speaking human specific.
Yes,
I'm
Darwinism,
speaking,
yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, this is what I was getting at because it was also related to something Austin said. People with ADHD playing sports. Well, let's take that back 5+ hundred years ago.
A
Sports
warrior
were
or
really a thing.
but a warrior or a hunter was probably someone with
Yeah.
ADD.
Well, I mean,
they
sports,
could focus where they were
Right.
pointing the arrow or throwing the
Right.
spear.
sports were brought about specifically for the fact of being a warrior.
Hey, basketball was played with people's chopped off heads on a hula hoop on the side of a wall.
I thought that was like the,
It was the
Maya or the Aztec.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like I think
But
it
it
was
was like-
I think it was the Maya.
But it was
It
a
was Aztec.
skull,
Was
and it
it?
was.
Pretty sure.
There
I think
were-
it was the Aztecs.
there
but-
It
were-
was, but it wasn't a head. It was the skull covered in resin, and
yeah.
something else.
But anyway,
they
but there
basically
were-
made a ball, but there
Yeah.
was a head in it. Yes.
And there was
Yeah.
hoops on
the wall.
either
the walls.
side
The stadium
of the
wall.
wall.
Yeah.
It was a singular hoop, if
And
I
the-
remember correctly,
the-
and
the-
it
It was
depended on
multiple.
which way the ball went through the hoop to
If I
determine.
remember right, though,
It was
they
one
were
hoop.
they were on the wall sideways.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they
it
were on the
was-
wall sideways, but they were
But they were like 30 foot up in the air,
yeah, they were
and
30.
you had to
They were high
use
as shit.
and you had to use just your hips to
Yep.
maneuver the ball, and that's what the game was.
But I mean,
That shit sounds
I thought there was
crazy.
like multiple hoops.
I think
but
I think
again,
you were allowed feet and hip,
Oh, okay.
because to get it up off the ground and
Oh,
stuff.
that's fair.
Also,
but
think
if you,
about how strong you were back then.
right.
though. Think
But if
about
you
the
take
human
but if you
body
take
back
the
then.
basis of that game, like what the rules are and stuff, that's ADHD heaven.
Oh
Son.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like what? That's ADHD heaven.
Well, on top of that, like Ma's saying, if sports came about for warriors to kind of idle them by,
Prep.
well, yeah, go have fun. Go play this thing that I just made up for you.
Yeah.
What's it making them do? It's keeping them in shape.
Yeah.
and hand-eye coordination, focus on a specific task because that's the thing. So the thing with ADHD, you can focus on a specific task for a short amount of time. But once your time's elapsed on that specific amount of time, you need something new to focus on.
Right.
But during wartime, during sports, there's always something new to focus
Right.
on.
Yep.
Yep.
But so
It's
what I
setting your relapse.
so my point was if ADHD we'll say was the warrior genetic trait that we were trying to overcome for the next step for humanity, right? Making us more coordinated.
And look, we're trying to breed that shit out of people now.
Right. We're trying to breed it out now. We're giving medication to try and subsidize, get it out. But what was the other comment we just made? Well, before they really knew what it was, they just locked people in a room and called them crazy.
Right. They were in the psych wards with tuberculosis
So
patients.
that brings me back to how many times have we kicked ourselves in the butt with not, with basically locking people up that there's nothing wrong with them. They just had to think different.
Okay, by your mind, Michael and Austin standards, no, there was nothing wrong with them. By societal standards.
That's what I'm saying. That, like you said, the mass kind of leads the bit, and that kind of it's crap.
I mean, really and truly it is, and it's sad that instead of exploring what these minds have to offer, we're trying to shut down with medication
Right.
what those minds have to offer.
Yep.
Holy fuck, we got in the weeds.
Yeah, we did. But we can trace it back.
Well,
I mean, literally, yeah. I mean, we literally have like the breadcrumbs to lead us right back to where we were.
We
Yep.
got the trail.
Yep.
100%.
That was a big
Yeah,
bark.
Oh, yeah,
What
neighbor's
are
dogs.
we running at? We're almost at 2 hours and 40 minutes,
Yeah.
y'all.
Little,
I mean-
little behind the scenes for the listeners. Current recording time 2 hours 37 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the final episode time.
I
is gonna
will
be.
say, I feel like this has probably been my favorite.
I
How are you feeling?
like this episode a lot.
I think this is my
I'm liking
favorite.
this.
I think this is a really good
I'm
one.
liking this episode too.
Yeah.
It's very good. I feel like we definitely should continue every 3 rounds, we do a group topic. It'd be very good.
We can feel it out. We
Yeah,
can feel it out.
Yeah.
I think we need to fill it out because I don't feel like this kind of topic's going to come up
Yeah.
to be groupable.
Yeah.
But you came into this with, in your words, the least to offer.
Yeah.
But you've really thrown some fucking nuggets
Oh,
out
some
there.
curveball. Well, I didn't know that those nuggets were ready to be thrown out.
But I think that's the beauty of it. And that's the
That's
beauty of this is the epitome of what birthed this.
My big scare coming into this episode was that we all researched it.
The same shit.
Not the same shit. None of our shit matched up. We all went into this and it was all completely different.
That's what you were scared of?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that would
Yeah.
probably would have made for like a freaking 5-hour recording of just like topic like
I really
this and
feel like-
that and that and
I
this.
feel like we each had kept on going. Yeah, we would have had a 5-hour
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
shit.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
I think like how we all researched and like even though you didn't really bring a lot, quote unquote, you still brought
You
enough
brought some
because
shit.
all of our at least 3 points of research all melded together.
That's true.
And like you had like an again, and I think this was perfect. I think it was beautiful, and I think this was the epitome of Back Porch Posse Productions LLC.
Well, that's like half correct, but
Yeah.
I'm throwing some shit out there, but
Getting
this is what made this podcast come to fruition.
Oh yeah.
Because we started we started way smarter than we've started any other back porch conversation because we were fact based.
Look,
Mhm.
we started when the sun was up. It's dark outside, y'all.
Okay, but we started kind of when the sun was starting to go
Anyways,
down.
but
But
yeah.
either
Yeah.
way,
I was just being funny.
we's
but
in the
yes,
southeast. Shit get hot. It gets cool when the sun ain't here.
Yep. Yep.
I enjoy the nights and the crickets.
Yeah. But I'd say we're probably at about a wrapping up point. Before
think
we
so.
officially end the episode, is there anything that somebody really wanted to say
Throw
earlier in
some
the
out,
episode?
Cruz. Come on, I know you got it.
What are the missed hooks that we swam by through this
The missed
conversation?
hooks that we swam by.
Yeah. If there's any that you guys know that you want to really throw out because you feel like it's necessary to be said.
Let me pull out my clipboard.
I have nothing, but
Let me look at my clipboard. I really think we really fucking touched this shit.
I think so.
You know what?
Oh my god.
I do have
it's
something
so
to
humid.
say.
My paper's like
I got something, and I'm gonna tie it back
Cloth.
to another subject.
Okay.
But, anyways, so if we were gonna tie two subjects together, the Power 9 that I brought up during the centenarians, the 20% rule. Maybe not relate that to just food when you're eating.
okay.
You know, look at what 20%. Is it worth it? Take 5 minutes when you're looking at something. Do I really need it?
Right.
Is it really gonna make my life that much better, that
Yeah.
much easier?
Yeah.
I
I'll tell
like
you.
it.
Is me buying the new iPhone 15 really gonna give me an edge over the people with the iPhone 14?
It's not
Through the
because you're running the same iOS.
Through-
Is the 2024 Mustang really gonna be that much better than the 2023?
no.
Let's be honest.
Look,
No.
dude, I had to totally let go of that shit. So that hit my heartstrings.
Hey, you know what I think?
What do you think?
I think as a group, we should go see Oppenheimer. And then we
Oh.
should have a discussion afterwards.
Okay,
That's not a bad idea
that's
at all.
a good group topic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
You know how deep we could go? on
Yeah.
Just Oppenheimer himself, just the research, not even the movie, and then go see the movie and then come back and discuss it?
Right.
like it.
Shit.
I like it. Future episode.
Yeah, it's gonna make him for a
Oppenheimer.
pretty good episode, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We should try and do that.
Again, I cannot say how much I'm feeling so much love for this episode. I'm feeling so much passion for this episode.
Yeah.
I feel like there was really good conversation. I feel like there was good debate. Did we always agree? No. I feel like we agreed more than other people are going to agree with us,
That's fine.
but I love that.
Guess what? I'm
Yeah.
a fucking American. I can hold my opinion.
For now.
But so let's end it with a question.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
We're basically talking about needs versus desires, right?
Okay.
So, let's ask the question. What's that one desire? What's that one thing that you want that you think would make your life better?
Ooh, I have an answer.
I don't know if I have an answer for that one.
Is it a car? Is it a house? A plane? A helicopter?
I have an
a
answer.
boat,
I have an answer.
I have an answer. What? Do you have an answer?
land,
Do you have an answer?
money.
Jonathan, do you have an answer?
I do.
Okay, let's start with you.
I asked the question.
I'll go first.
Okay.
My answer is money.
Wow.
If I had more money, life would be the best.
Okay. Austin.
Honestly, if I had a new car, my life would be pretty blissful right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's fair.
Like
That is very
like,
fair.
I really got no debt. Like I just got my bills. Like finna go into the next step with like getting a house. Like bro, if I got a fucking new car, like my life would be really good right now.
Yep.
Word. That's fair. That's fair.
That's a desire.
Yeah,
Mama
that's
Joe?
valid.
My desire, if I could have it, I want that plot of land we've been talking about, that 100 acres.
That would be really nice.
That's what I want. I want that 100 acres, like all wooded, clear out a plot for me. I don't need more than, I'm going to go generous. Give me 2,000 square foot home with just enough property for my doggos, because let's face it, I'm never going to be without a doggo.
Yeah.
It might be short term, but long term, I'm always gonna have a doggo. That I could grow some flowers. I could grow something. Tomatoes.
Veggies, fruits. Yeah.
Yeah, something. My lemon trees, my lime trees, and then I can hunt the property for my deer, for my boar.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's.
And then there's a spot for you, Michael. There's a spot for you. There's a spot for Jonathan. There's a spot for Austin. There's a spot for each of my girls. But, you know, we got to have that ATV to drive to each other's spots. So we can't see each other
Right.
from our little oasis. But we's there.
But we can ride to each other.
We can ride to each other. We can all be hunting the property. We can all help fill each other's freezers. We can all have those Sunday family. That's my. I want.
You want
this-
a you want a village.
I want a small.
You want a
village
village again.
I do. I really do. I want that. You know, Sundays we're playing fucking Monopoly and we're eating fucking. Look, strap back from a deer.
Mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
get me
with the mashed potatoes, the gravy, or a boar. I don't care.
Guess what? That
A pork roast from that boar. I don't give a fuck. But what I want that community of the people I love and I cherish. There are 3 people sitting in front of me that I love and I cherish. There is a larger group that I love and cherish that are included in this, but there's 3 people sitting in front of me. That is really all I want.
Yeah. It's a pretty good answer.
Yeah, that's a really good desire. 100%.
But I need
Yeah.
Michael's money to make that desire happen. So, I mean, just to start it out.
Nah.
The money he's getting, because I can't get there at this point in time right now. But that is my utopia.
Nice.
But Sundays we is eating dinner as a family, playing fucking Monopoly, Jackbox or Jack TV, whatever the fuck that shit is, or Clue or whatever the game, the Spades or whatever other card game.
Palace.
Yeah, or Uno. We're doing something together that does not include.
Technology.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess that just leaves the listeners. What
What
is
is your desire?
what is
or
your-
what is your want?
Yeah.
There was
Leave
mine.
it in the comments.
Oh, there was, but you didn't want to answer.
No,
so.
I did want to answer. I was waiting for you guys to finish.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
what's yours then?
I want a ship.
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 Okay.
And maybe I don't know how. The reasoning is. It's more the reasoning than the ship. I don't want to be bound, so to speak, to. If I didn't have to be, I wouldn't want to be bound to the United States.
Yeah.
I'd want to go and experience.
You want to leave at your leisure.
No. I want to live with different people.
Okay.
I want to leave here, go down to Africa, live with people down there for a few months, figure out how they do it down there, go somewhere else, figure out how they do. I want to see how everybody does it.
Damn,
like
dude. Always
the-
one up in some
No,
fucking
that's
buddy.
not what I'm trying to do. That's
like
not what
the-
I'm trying to do.
I'm
like the
giving you a
culture
hard
of
time
life?
because that's a really fucking phenomenal answer.
Well, Living the
my
culture of
reasoning
life?
is,
That's crazy.
and this is where, in the back of my head, who I am, I've always got to try and figure out the answer to the big problem.
See, I'm so fucking simple. I'm like, just, give me my bubble.
So,
You're like, let me expand my bubble.
well, but this is my logic. I go, let's say my first stop is Africa, and I hang out there. I learn stuff. They like me. They give me something knowledge based, and then I go to the next spot, and the same thing happens. After a point, I've lived enough of. I won't say I've lived their culture, but I've experienced enough of their culture that I think I'd be able to start figuring out maybe how to ground everybody again.
You could share. You could share the knowledge you learned from every society and every culture you visited.
Yeah, this is what I saw over here. They kind of were doing this. It was wrong, but they were doing this, and they was working.
So
And maybe just kind of go around and spread knowledge. I
Here's the
guess.
thing.
I
I'm
gue-
trying to
I
make-
don't know
John the
how to say
Shaman.
that.
Wisdom.
I know.
Wisdom.
Literally,
I guess.
I'm trying to make my world better. He's trying to make the world better.
My boy John the Shaman.
He would have to live in a cave for a while and develop a martial art, and then
Yeah,
write
yeah.
a series
Okay.
of texts.
No, yeah,
and
no,
stuff.
he's gonna come.
I don't really
no,
feel like he has
no,
to do all
he's,
that.
he's gonna come back like a whole ass monk.
Yeah.
No, what
That's
he's
what I'm saying.
gonna
Martial
do
art,
is he's gonna
series of
cherry
texts.
pick the best ideas from every society and every
I'm
culture.
not going to cherry pick.
No, I mean, essentially, yeah, that's what I do in my job day to day. I take advice.
If I was going to more, I'm taking every single, I'm basically taking every single one, spreading them out as best as I can based off of points.
And you're gonna pick the shit that works the best. That's cherry picking.
I'm going to, I guess in that sense, yes. But
I was trying to make it super simple.
I was going to say more like blend them together.
Cherry
okay.
picking.
Okay. Fair
That's
enough.
fair.
But hey, if you did your irrigation like this,
Yes,
you know,
because this works
you
better
know,
than what you're doing.
your plants wouldn't drown and they'd get the right amount of water.
Yeah.
And then go over here. Hey, by the way, you can't grow these kind of plants here, but you can grow these.
Yeah.
I don't know. 'Cause
That's
simple
honorable.
knowledge like that. You take it to a tiny little village that doesn't have connection with the outside. Hey, you have this kind of dirt. Try planting this. Oh shit, it worked. I have food now.
Yeah.
That little bit of that 5-minute bit of knowledge that you gave that person could be what 10 years later. Now that they're doing it.
Every time I start to think I'm a good person, he says some shit like that, and I'm like, fuck.
At least you didn't say money for your answer.
But I mean, money's kind of the start for all of it
yeah.
because in
Yeah.
today's society, without money,
You ain't doing
Yeah.
nothing.
We're in a consumeristic society.
exactly. So, what did I say? Like, what I want is my utopia, but
It's gonna
in
cost
order
money.
to get to my utopia, I need the money you were getting.
Yeah.
So let's just be real. Between the four of us, chef's kiss.
See, but that's where
Yeah.
mine can start with a bad move. I can just go steal a ship.
It's
I'm
true.
just kidding. I'm not doing that.
I'm not looking at your means.
Wait, what?
I'm not looking at your means to justify your ends. I'm only looking at your ends right now.
She's
Just
saying the
saying.
ends justify the means.
I'm just saying, bro. If I had to, and that's what I really wanted to do, and I had no other choice, I could
I'm gonna
figure
steal
it
a
out.
ship.
What I
I'll
was just
figure it out.
saying is I was looking at my bubble, you was looking at the world, and I was like, I just care about my bubble.
Okay.
Oh,
So
no,
I
no, no,
went
no.
totally like selfish.
No, no,
and
no.
He
I
went,
care
like,
about my
I
bubble.
want to make the world so much better by spreading knowledge.
Okay, this is.
I was giving you fucking kudos, dude.
No,
Take
I
it.
know, but this is. I'm really not trying to one up you, but it's gonna sound like a one up.
It's a one up.
I
It's
care.
not.
You care about your bubble.
I do.
I care about my bubble.
Yes. But you care about the bigger bubble in the bubble.
If the bubble around my bubble,
Burst, then you only have your bubble to rely on. I get it. That's
no,
why
if
we need
the bubble around my bubble is thriving,
my bubble's doing better.
My bubble's thriving.
I no, I see. I pick up what you're throwing down. I see where you're going with it. I totally agree with you. I didn't think as big as you did. But I'll be I'll be back here maintaining our bubble while you're making the bubble around our bubble better.
There you go.
There we go.
Deal? We need to
that's-
work together to make this shit happen.
Well,
It's just
I mean, I got to dock that thing somewhere.
okay then. You got a home to come back to, okay?
And, I'll have, maybe I'll have an interesting book or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back with a grimoire from England. or
Maybe
something. I don't
nothing.
know.
He's gonna come back when we're gonna go psh, mind fucking blown.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna see the flaws and pick those, and then look, Austin and Michael, they're gonna go, let me see what you got there. I see this, I see this, I see that. Oh, but if we did this, this, and this, think about what could happen if we cross these.
And that's where the new ideas I'd have between you two, it'd get refined even more.
Yeah.
And then, so you made it even better. I'll be back.
Yeah, that's the
You're
thing.
gone for another 5 months or whatever.
So
You're
he-
off the sea.
He's
yeah.
going out finding shit. I'm maintaining shit, and you two are gonna be like, "Hold my beer, I got this."
Me? Hanging out.
Hanging around.
That's what you guys call it, but you guys look at things in such a way that's like, it's mind expanding. You think it's so simple, but for people who don't think on your wavelength, it's not as simple.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
We just all
agree.
have different ways of thinking and approaching everything.
Mm.
So as a unit, we work.
Yeah.
Individually, we're like, I'm dumb. How many fucking times have I sat here and had a topic that I thought was fucking phenomenal and
It fell flat.
it's like,
Or we all sit here and go, man, this is probably going to be some shit. And we sit here talking for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, you like tonight?
No. In general.
Well, we've already done this before. So.
Yeah. Done this too many times to count.
Yep.
So on that note, I think this has been phenomenal. I think we are all geniuses in our own right. I think we are surrounded by people who are geniuses. I think a lot of people are geniuses in their own right, and they
Yeah.
don't get the credit
Yeah.
that they deserve.
For sure.
Definitely.
And I think anybody that puts themselves down for thinking differently than the norm needs to fuck the norm.
Yeah. Walk to the beat of your own drum.
Damn right.
And as a final question for all you listeners, maybe the next time, you want to ask yourself, I need that new car. Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I need that new phone.
Or
do you?
Or would a turkey and some steak in the fridge look really nice too? Just saying.
For your family.
Hey y'all, thanks for listening to us. If you were interested in what we had to say, please leave a comment or share us with a friend. We are curious for feedback and can't wait to hear from you. Here's a clip from an upcoming episode. Until next time, enjoy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Literally named his sons 1 and 2.
1 and 2. Yep. And I mean, those are literally their given names.
Fuck
so
that.
that or he had a really bad memory and he just figured that would be the best way he could remember his children's names. I don't know.
That's crazy.
So
Maybe he could only count to 2. That's why he had to name the third one Indiana.
Indiana instead of 3.